live here pretty soon. We should be live right now. Thank you all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. I appreciate you for joining me tonight. We are live over on the ABL live show. Thank y'all for being here. There's a lot of topics on deck for tonight. There's a whole lot of stuff going on. We got to talk about all of it. The biggest story right now is the Alabama pro-life bill, House Bill 314. Ivy just signed it into law over the past hour or so. It will ban all abortions at any point during pregnancy except if life of the mother is in jeopardy. It does not include any provisions for rape or incest because, as the female House Rep Susan Collins in Alabama said, we can't say that the person in the womb is not a person when they were conceived through violence, rape or incest. So that's why that provision is not there. Also, the so-called hit TV show Empire has been canceled. Now, the media won't come out and blame Jussie Smollett, but come on. It's obvious what's going on here. This guy does what he does. The rankings tank. The ratings tank. So what are you going to do? It's obvious what the next move is going to be. Arthur, the children's TV show, introduces gay marriage to small children, little kids. Kids that really aren't old enough to even understand what's going on with that. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me. I really, really appreciate you for that. It's a lot going on, so I'm glad you're here. We got to talk about all of it. And we also have, what else? Give me 1 second here. I'm just trying to get myself together. Oh, the Texas police shooting. People are talking about, oh, she was pregnant and he shouldn't have killed her. Number one, she was not pregnant. She was a 44-year-old lady who had already had issues with the police before, had warrants for violent offenses, assault, criminal mischief. She already been in jail before. The officer that shot her had already dealt with her before. And beyond that, since when did her being pregnant make a difference to these people that would claim all this Black Lives Matter stuff? They're against the Alabama bill to protect babies in the womb, but this woman gets shot and killed because she tried to assault the officer, actually succeeded in assaulting the officer, grabbed a taser and tased him with it. They want to talk about, oh, we shouldn't have done that to her. You shouldn't have shot her because she said she was pregnant. I mean, either the baby is a baby inside the womb or it isn't. Don't just say conveniently you want to have the baby be a baby. You know, don't have like, it's either it is or it ain't. It can't just be conveniently a human being and conveniently not a human being. That's not how this thing works. Not at all. Not in the least bit. Also, there's so much stuff going on, but I think the main thing here is the Alabama abortion bill. Now, shout out to Alabama and Georgia. You know, it's funny how the left talks about the South and how backwards and country, all this, that, and the third. But it seems like people in the South, the residents, the leadership, they have more sense than many other places. How much sense does it take for a person to understand that a baby in the womb is a baby? On my Instagram page, I have a clip of this woman talking about when a woman is pregnant, it's not a baby inside of her. Okay, so my question that I've been asking all day on Twitter, everywhere, to the pro-abortion people, to the anti-life people is, when does a baby become a baby? When the baby's in the womb, at what point is that a baby? At what point is it a human being? Exactly, side night junkie. Baby full of cells, belly full of cells is what they want to say. You know, all of a sudden it becomes a real thing when you want to use it. But to get back on it, at what point is a baby in the womb a human being with his own rights? Everybody want to dance around it, talk about different things, throwing ad hominem attacks. But I don't want to hear none of that. Tell me when A baby in the womb is a human being. Just because the baby's not developed fully does not mean anything. And people talk about, oh, when the baby is viable. What does viability even mean? Okay. Now, I done seen family members on ventilating machines. If it were not for the machine, then they couldn't live at all. So do you not have ventilating machines because the person cannot survive on their own? If they're on a machine, are they not human anymore? Can you abuse somebody that's on a ventilating machine because they're not human and the laws that would apply to a human do not apply to them? See, people may think that's kind of extreme, and I'm kind of going and doing some far-fetched things by even talking about that, but this is how law works. You can't just have a law only fit certain situations. It's got to be for all situations. That's why the laws are written in a certain way that they're written. The lawyer speak is necessary to have the laws work for whatever the situation is. That's how it has to be. So what I'd like to know is, when is a baby a baby? At what point does that actually happen? And if it's about viability, then that must be applied to other situations, other circumstances. If somebody's on a ventilating machine, if they're brain dead, if they're not able to respond. So you're talking about a thing that can impact beyond women being pregnant. And then people talking about men can get pregnant too. First of all, it's not biologically possible. But second of all, what are they pregnant with? Like, what are we even talking about? And to go to Arthur and the whole gay marriage thing to a child is so confusing. All this is just totally confusing. It doesn't make any sense. You know, when you hear a child be confused about a thing, it's usually because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If it's a basic thing, I don't mean a real complex thing. If their whole life they've been around mommy and daddy, their mom is breastfeeding them and playing with them, playing with toy blocks and stuff like that, being an early educator, and then here comes dad, the guy with a voice like mine, or whatever the case is, the disciplinarian, if you will, the strong figure. All of a sudden, they see two men on TV kissing and getting married. What is this? Now you got to explain to a child what's going on. Should you be doing that to a young child? Is that what's? And then they see abortion. They're seeing these grown women cosplay in Handmaid's Tale costumes. They're like, what's going on here? Why are they wearing, are they Little Red Riding Hood? Why is the hood white? Are they Klan members? What's going on? Did they just get done beating somebody up? Why are their clothes so red? Are they bloody? What's happening? Why are they saying that you should be able to kill babies? I was a baby a little while ago. I'm 2 years old. So if I was a baby, would you have killed me? Now you're getting into things that don't make any sense to kids because it does not make any sense. Some things are going to be too complex for a child to understand, but some things are pretty simple. And when the child speaks on it, you got to listen. And I think a lot of these liberal people are not listening to any kind of sound logic at all on a basic level, not in the least bit. So I just want some clarification from my own self. Like, when is a child a child? And getting the Empire right quick. Empire, people are talking about that. They're saying that the show was on its last legs, this, that, and the third. It was still bringing in good money. Okay. Jussie was getting like $125,000 per episode, and he was trying to renegotiate, and talks were open. If the show was not doing that well, then there wouldn't be no talk to try and renegotiate for your salary increase. I guess the talks were not going quick enough, so he decides, you know what, let's stage this stunt where I'm able to make myself be a martyr and this very important figure, important more than Terrence Howard, more important than Taraji P. Henson, more important than Lee Daniels himself, the show creator and runner. I'll be the top dog on the show. But in him trying to get that fame, to get the notoriety, he not only ruined his own career, he ruined the entire show, killed the whole show. Shout out to my man Marcus, my Jamaican homie. He told me about his grandmother. He was like, an old saying he heard was, you want all, you get none. Stop being greedy. All this from Jussie, the hate crime hoax, the fake letter, all this, the public stuff talking about I'm the gay Tupac, this, that, and the third. All of that was for greed. to try and get more money. Nothing more, nothing less. It's really simple. But hey, karma is serious. You already know what it is. I ain't gonna use no curse words, but you already know what it is. Karma is serious. It's not a game. And it bit him right in the hind parts right away. Not only did he kill his career, he killed the entire show. So not only are the actors who are on the show out of a job, some of them will be okay. Your Terrence Howard, Taraji P. Henson. I think Taraji was in the movie recently. She'll be fine. She's a superstar. So is Terrence Howard. But the staff, the interns, cameramen, audio men, whatever, now they got to try to find something else. All because of one guy trying to be the Don Dada, trying to be the biggest guy on campus. It's really a shame. So shout out to everybody in the building. I thank y'all for joining. We got 201 already live in the place. That's right, Western Kenyan music. A baby is not your body. A baby is a baby. Okay. Oh, back to the whole thing about viability. People say, well, a baby becomes human or has rights when they're viable. Well, I mean, a baby when they're born is not viable on its own. You can't just leave a baby in the middle of the floor and then they can do whatever they want on their own. How is baby going to be able to produce food and drink water and change itself? And a baby is totally dependent upon their parents to take care of them. Totally dependent. They cannot do anything on their own. That's why you have now people talking about post-birth abortion, which ain't nothing but infanticide. Ralph Northam said that, and people didn't believe me until I showed them the clip of the guy talking about, well, if the child comes out, there's some challenges. We'll keep the baby alive, and then we'll have a discussion about what? Now, he wanted to say, oh, you're taking it out of context. It's for severely injured babies, but I see where we're going with this. You know, it's not too far away from what is done in other places where the child is born, it's not wanted, you destroy it right away. You know, in China, they're doing all kind of crazy stuff. I heard about a baby that was flushing the toilet, and they saved the baby, thank God. They had to cut out some PVC pipe, had to open the wall up, cut out the PVC pipe, and rescue the baby that way. See, that's what happens when life has no value. So shout out to Kay Ivey, the governor of Alabama. And it's funny how people saying, oh, it's a bunch of men deciding for when what they could do with their. It's not a bunch of men. The governor had the power to sign it or not sign it. The governor, a woman, Kay Ivey, decided to sign it. Now, the feminist point of view will be, oh, she is dominated by her husband or by other men, this, that, and the third. Why can't she have her own mind? Why can't she think the way she want to think? Because the argument could be used in the converse. You could be saying that she voted against it because men were pressuring her not to do it. What if her husband was a stomped down liberal and he said, don't sign it? See, the argument is only used when a person does something that you don't want them to do if you're on the left. That's kind of how that works, but it doesn't even really matter. Hopefully this will repeal Roe v. Wade. All Roe v. Wade is a court case that people rely upon. When I say people, I mean the federal government, local governments, they pretty much go by that. But there's no actual law in place. The only thing that will happen is this bill that got signed today, it will go through a lengthy court case. And it could be blocked and they could use Roe v. Wade. Like, it's going to be a court case challenge. This is why it's very important to have Donald Trump in there or a conservative person, period, in the White House to have Supreme Court justices be appointed. Trump already appointed how many? 2 people, maybe 3. I think he appointed Neil Gorsuch, Brett Kavanaugh, and was that it? Was it? I know it was at least 2. These already appointed, and there could be a third one coming up with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She has 1 foot in the proverbial grave. Stephen Breyer, also very old, and you may have Clarence Thomas retire. So you may have 5 or 6 justices appointed under Trump, and these are lifelong positions. So if the case goes to the Supreme Court, how you think the court is going to rule? All right, if you have nothing but conservatives in there, versus if you had a Tulsi Gabbard in there who would have appointed, or Hillary Clinton who would have appointed liberal justices or justices that had their same particular points of view. All these Democrats, all of them, I've not heard one Democrat in office that could be the president, or out of office that could be the president, that says that they are pro-life. Not one. Now, if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. But if you got that kind of person in the White House and they're appointing Supreme Court justices, what's going to be the result when Ruth Bader Ginsburg kicks the bucket, when Stephen Breyer kicks the bucket, or Clarence Thomas retires? You know, you're going to have somebody in there that's not going to serve your best interest as a conservative American. So you don't want that at all. Okay. Now, Malia Davis, I don't know who that is. Smith Lamarcus. I'm not sure who Malia Davis is. So you got to put me on the game on that one. But shout out to the super chatters already. You guys are great. I really appreciate y'all. Thank you to, let's see here. Thank you to Richie of the West, who says, thanks for the Arthur video, ABL. You ruined my childhood. I'm sorry, man. It's not me. Blame PBS. You talking about a long-running children's show. It's been on for, what, 22 years? Or 22 seasons, starting with this one. And then their grand opener is gay marriage. 2 male animals getting married, dancing the jig, and then the children are like, yay. It's ridiculous. But then the next super chat, thank you to Kevin Duncan, who says a pregnant woman murdered in New York City. Well, my question, I don't know anything about that case, but my question is, are they going to charge the person with double? Is it going to be double homicide? See, that's something else. In Alabama, if you kill a pregnant woman, then it's a double homicide if the baby dies as well. Because not only did you kill that woman, you killed the baby inside of her. There's 2 human beings. Now, I've seen different cases where a woman was killed and the baby died as well, either through being killed by the individual or because of complications from the mother dying, where the person was not charged with homicide, well, with murder or anything like that on the child, only the mother. And people were complaining about it, talking about, oh, this is double homicide, it's baby. No. Can't be both ways. If you think that Roe v. Wade is right, Roe v. Wade concluded that the baby inside of a woman's womb is not a baby. That's what it concluded. So if you want to be on that side, then you can't have both ways. You can't say that a baby in the womb is a baby when it is killed or it dies by somebody else's hand. You can't say that. If you think that, then it has to be a human being with rights. It ain't no middle ground here. That's why there was no provision for rape and incest in the bill, because you can't say that the baby inside of the womb is not a baby when it comes to rape or incest. It's a human being regardless of what. It is what it is. Thank you to G. Carjala, who says, could be anywhere, but we're here for ABL Live. I appreciate you, G. Carjala, as always, boss. Snap Turtle says, we agree that the left don't care about black folks. Do you think the right cares about black folks more? I like many of your points of view, except when it comes to the false left-right paradigm. Well, I think that the right is less concerned about race than the left is. The left is all concerned about race. They hinge everything on race and identity. The right is about bringing everybody together. So I think they care more about Americans, including black folks, than the left does. The left purports itself to care about black folks, but they don't. They'll say that the right is racist, but the left supports all the things that the right is against, which is going to negatively impact black folks the most. Minimum wage. Why would you be for having a high minimum wage when we know that in many poor areas, that's going to kill jobs and it's going to kill entire communities because there's not enough money to be able to go around and pay that kind of money, or it will criminalize them because they can't afford to pay people $15 an hour legally. So that's one thing. And also the abortion, I'm talking about that for a long time. 20 million black babies aborted since 1973 Roe v. Wade. That's more than HIV, AIDS, homicide, suicide, car accidents, alcohol, drugs, all that times 10. All that combined times 10. Okay, the left is all for it. They're out here dressing in cosplay as a Handmaid's Tales with the Klan little white visors on and the red outfits, talking about this is going to negatively impact black women. How would an abortion ban negatively impact black women when you have 13% of the population in the U.S. are black, and 34% of the abortions are performed upon black women. More black babies aborted than are born in many cities across the United States. So how could that negatively impact black women? They say that they're for the black community. They say that they want to help black men, black women, black children, but their actions speak differently. So just off that right there, the abortion, minimum wage, gun laws, a lot of the things that we need in the black community, the left are against and the right is for. So although the right may not have racial platforms that they operate on, their policies will help us more than the left. Although the left purports itself to be an ally, quote unquote, of black folks. But hopefully that answered your question. Thank you to Tsunami, who says, why is it abortion or bust? Does society forget about adoption, morning after pill, birth control? Maybe the father wants to care for the child. She can sign over her parental rights. Hey, that's my thing, but I think society has become so brainwashed that people look at abortion as a woman's right, a woman's dominion over her own body, this, that, and the third, which makes no sense because a baby inside of a woman is not her body. A baby is a baby, period. A baby is growing and developing the same way a child that is born is. A baby becomes a toddler becomes a little kid becomes a big kid becomes a teenager becomes an adult becomes middle-aged, and the middle-aged person becomes elderly. That's how life is. So you can't just say because somebody is at one stage of the development in life, then they don't deserve to live. It makes no sense. But that's what we have been brainwashed to believe. So they're hinging the whole thing on that. And then there could be a nefarious point of view there that they want certain parts of the population eliminated. They don't want too many black folks, too many useless eaters, as Margaret Sanger would call them. I can get into that whole thing why Planned Parenthood was started. And then there's also money to be made. Plenty money from not only the abortions, which aren't free, they cost money, also from selling the fetal tissue, the organs of a baby, all that gets sold. And it's not even a secret. If you ask them, they'll tell you. They'll say it's for research, that, and the third. But no, if a baby can be operated on in the womb, I mean, at a certain point, do you think there's any kind of organs that are being transplanted into a baby that's in the womb? Where are they coming from? You tell me. But I digress. Thank you to Matthew Chambers, who says, they say a single cell found on Mars is life, but a baby is a parasite. No, can't listen to that nonsense. Exactly. Right. They'll say, there's nothing around, no movement, no sentience, no nothing. But a single microscopic cell, that's life. And you got to protect it. You got to make sure nobody touches it. You got to go in the room and you got to, you can't really do it. Matter of fact, if you go to the zoo, you got glass protecting the little critters in there. You can't touch the iguanas and the snakes and the chimpanzees and whatnot, but you can kill a human being because it's not convenient for you to have the baby. How about that? You get treated better if you are an animal than you are if you are a human being. It's illegal to kill certain animals that are in the wild. An eagle, if you get caught with an eagle, not even killing the eagle, if you get caught with a certain type of bird, an eagle or an owl, that could be a felony right there. Just for having it, not even harming it, just for possessing it. Okay. But a baby, you can kill that. It's crazy, but it is what it is. And the reason why they say that a baby is a parasite is to dehumanize it. So people won't really have second thoughts about abortion. That's the whole propaganda behind it. Thank you to Ja Crispy, who says, would you interview with David Patman? I would. I've seen himself here and there. I think I may have seen him on Justin Lee Peterson's show, and I've seen his own channel. I interview with him 100%. And I like having debates. I like talking to liberals because I like for them to hear my point of view. And I want them to maybe get red pill in the end. I know guys like David Patman may be kind of, stuck in their ways. They got a whole channel built upon their point of view, so they're not going to really change. But I want to at least get it out there to those that may be on his side of things to just hear from me and not be stuck in their echo chamber. Thank you to Nathan Shield, who says the right has more Christians. Yes, we do, 100%. the left is generally anti-religion, not just non-religious, they're anti-religion. You know, me, I'm non-religious. It's not the same thing as being anti-religion. I'm not against you practicing your religion. If you want to be Christian, whatever, as long as you're not harming anybody, as long as you're not doing no kind of a law walk bar, then I'm good money. But see, many on the left are anti-religion. Well, they're anti-certain religions. They're anti-Christianity. They're pro-Islam, but that's a different story. Thank you to Omar Adams, who said, Jussie killed Empire. Hashtag the gay Tupac, laugh emoji. Yes, he did kill Empire. It's funny how he was trying to get more money on Empire, but wind up killing the whole show. So not only is he not on the show doesn't even exist anymore after this particular season coming up. It's crazy. Exactly, California Critic. They say, I can go to jail for touching or bothering an endangered species, but it's okay to kill a human being, a baby. 1,000%. Go ahead and touch a bald eagle or certain kind of owls, you get sent to the penitentiary. Federal offense. Okay, but killing a baby is fine. And one thing I got to say about the Alabama bill before we get to the calls in a moment, one thing that you got to understand, people were saying that the woman can go to jail. No, the bill says that the woman shall not be held in any kind of way criminally or civilly liable for an abortion. It'd be the doctor that performs it, because the doctor has to know better. The doctor knows that you can't do that. If abortions are illegal, then there can be no abortionist. So if you are an abortionist, that is illegal, okay? Because you are killing the child. That's what you can't do. Now, some would say you should be able to criminalize a woman, but I mean, I think that this is good because the doctor, the person that is an abortionist, don't want to get in trouble, you know? So that'll keep a lot of people away from doing it. And some people may not understand that abortion is illegal. Like regular normies, they might not follow politics like that, so they might not even understand. Because it was legal for a long time in the state, and now it's not. They may not understand, but the doctors have to know that, because that's part of their job, is being in the know. So I'm with that. Although you could have made a case to criminalize a woman as well. Have the doctor be held liable in a criminal way. So then I'm good money. All right. So thank you all for being here. Most certainly appreciate you. We got 264 live in the building. Yeah, friends. Empire was probably about done, but they could have milked about 2 to 3 more years out of it. They could have gone for about 9 years. They could have got about 2 or 3 more years out of it. But see, Jussie doing what he did hastened the process of ending the show. No, they weren't in a rush to end the show because it was a gravy train. It was bringing in a lot of money. So there was no rush to really end it. There was no need to really end it. But, you know, he did what he did. Now we have what we have, which is an end to the show. The Rapper 10,000 says, where's the black community talking about the history of abortion and how it was created just to kill black babies? Sanger and the eugenics movement was racist. Hey, I'm with it. I'm right there with you, boss. I say that all the time. Margaret Sanger, a eugenicist, wanted to kill those who look just like me, wanted to eliminate my ancestors, people that look like if she had her way, I wouldn't even be here. That was the whole point of Planned Parenthood. And you got 80% of Planned Parenthoods located in close proximity to black or Hispanic neighborhoods. Okay. And I talked to a person at a Planned Parenthood, not in the actual facility, but a person that works there. And I was bringing it to her, like, you know, Margaret Sanger wanting to kill off black folks and all your locations are right in black areas. Why is that? She was like, what's a higher demand there? Okay, so we got to get rid of that type of mentality. And what better way than to sign this bill into law, which would prevent it from happening altogether. So you can't just say, I can go get an abortion. Ain't no abortion. Ain't no, escape hatch when you regret having sex and having a child. Now, some are going to be upset about the rape and incest part not being in there, but let's go back and talk about some facts. Only about 1% of abortions performed are because of rape, incest, life of the mother. That's the truth. I have a New York Times report in my video I did about this today, and it's in the box. You can see it for yourself. It's an old report, yes, but that statistic ain't really going to change, okay? Most abortions are because of convenience, or somebody, they're scared. They didn't want to have the child. It could be some infidelity going on. It could be somebody's wife got pregnant by the pastor and then they want to abort their baby, but that's a different story. And I digress. I ain't going down that road, but it's because of a convenience thing. It ain't because, nah, that ain't really it. Thank you to Tsunami, who says, David Patman won't debate you. Anything you say he disagrees with that is factual and evidence-based. He'll question your non-existent mental health, drug, and alcohol abuse to make him sound right. That's funny. And my thing is, I'm a teetotaler. I don't even drink coffee, let alone liquor, beer, cigarettes, nothing. I'm 1,000% sober. I'm high on life. I'm 100% sober. And I got a very clear mind. I'm sharp, I'm quick on it. Quick on my feet. So for him to say that, it'll just kind of embarrass him if he was to go down that road. So I want to have the debate. I like debating anybody. Let's do it. Let's go down the road. Let's have the debate. I'm with it 1,000%. And if you smoke, whatever, that's your business. I'm just saying, that can be used against me because I was having that same argument in the anti-drug thing. You're saying, oh, if you drink alcohol, you're a hypocrite. Guess what? I don't drink alcohol. I don't touch alcohol. I don't even like having mouthwash, escape out of my mouth when I'm just swigging it. I'm good. I game. That's my vice is gaming. Some people's vice, they have weed, they got alcohol. Not me. I game. That's my vice. That's how I keep my mind sharp and I'm good. Yeah, I don't even drink coffee. I don't like coffee. I've drank coffee before, but I'm not a fan. I don't like being jittery, and I'm trying to cut down on sugar. I like sugar. Don't get it twisted. I like to eat some sugar. I like cookies and cheesecake and stuff like that, but I try to cut down on that too. I try to have stevia. Like I'm trying to be one of them kind of guys. That's a whole different story why I don't drink. That might be for a different video. That might be for a book, actually, why I don't drink. I could tell you a whole big, long story about that. A life story. Hey, just know that I was never no kind of addict, nothing like that. I don't got a story like, oh, I was on my last dollar, I was drinking. No, that ain't me. But I got a story to tell about that, but I won't even get into it. Let me see. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And thank y'all for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me on ABL Live. I appreciate all you guys. And if you have not done so already, please like the video. Give me a thumbs up. Share the video. Do all that. And thank you to Truth Seeker for the donation. I definitely appreciate you, boss. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get into the calls. All right. Thank you, Seth. I appreciate it. I just try to give you my honest thoughts and hopefully you get something from it. So I thank you. Let me see. Yeah, Stevie is controversial. They say it's cancer causing. Everything causes cancer nowadays, I suppose. Yeah, I try to keep my salt and sugar to, I got an interesting diet, Like today, I might do 1 meal a day sometimes. I did that for a long time, and I was vegan for a while. I was vegan for about 2 or 3 years, so I got an interesting story. But again, that might be a book. How did I become conservative? That's a long story as well, and that might be for a different video. I got video on that. Matter of fact, my red pill moment. I said that in that video, but to sum it up, just getting older, man. Just getting older and experiencing life. The ups and downs, and just understanding that I'm an adult, I'm on my own, and I don't have to look at things through the eyes of my parents anymore. I can make my own decisions and be my own man. And once I came into myself as a man, then at that point, I started to see life from my own two eyes, rather than relying upon others to shape life for me and to be my lens to which I saw life. I'm able to see life for what it is on my own. So life experiences and getting older. When I was a youngin', I was real liberal and real all this and that. When I got older and bills started to come in and I got responsibilities, now it's like, okay, now I'm seeing the reality of life. Like the old saying goes, if you are not liberal when you are a young man, you have no heart. If you are a liberal when you become an old man, you have no brain. That's pretty much what it is. But let's get to the next thing. Now, I was vegan for a long time. My favorite things I would have rice, beans, kale, broccoli, bok choy, all that. That was my main thing that I did for a long time. A lot of fruits, apples, oranges, bananas. Yeah. But let's get to the calls. And I had all kind of beans. I had red, black, pinto, lima, whatever. But let's get to it. All right. And I always had steamed vegetables. I got a steamer too. Everything was steamed and prepped nicely. All right, no, Lil King, what's going on? Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
The unplanned movie to not even show. They're struggling to get distributors, and they're not allowed to advertise on television. The sponsors won't let them, so it's pretty crazy.
Okay, so the sponsors, like, who is preventing the ads from being on TV? Like, is there any particular company that's doing it?
Not necessarily the sponsors, but the television stations are not allowing any advertising.
Wow.
Yeah, movie.
Wow, that's crazy.
So what they're doing to bypass that is they're showing the movie for free in festivals. Like they just showed it in Calgary. There were a few thousand people that got to see it.
Oh wow, well that's good. I'm glad that it was able to get out there at least, because I mean that's crazy. That's outright censorship because people don't want to. And my thing is, if abortion is so good and it's such a thing that is needed, then the movie wouldn't be able to sway people's opinions. So just let it be shown. Don't be scared.
Well, their excuse is it's too graphic and it's too disturbing, but then it's the same country that allows people to watch Saw, movies like that, which are pretty graphic and unnecessary. At least this movie has some sort of positive message, right?
Oh yeah, there's all kind of graphic movies out there. I mean, TV nowadays is graphic. I mean, I've seen some of the worst things. I've seen nudity on TV. I don't even really watch scripted television. I watch the news and sports mostly. But then every now and again, I might see a little bit of a show, and then I'm seeing like bare naked backsides. I'm like, when did this become okay to do? So, it's all an excuse to not have a movie that can change some minds and hearts out there in the public.
Yeah, and this thing with Arthur, it's kind of heartbreaking because I used to watch a little bit of Arthur. I thought that show was awesome. He's an aardvark, I think. I don't know what I used to wonder, what is he? Is he a possum? Is he a skunk? I didn't know. But something similar to that is, you hear about the sequel to Coming to America?
No, I didn't know that was coming out. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's coming out 2020. That's one of my all-time favorite movies, right? It's a classic. That's the movie that I watched before I came to North America, because I was wondering how are they going to treat me. So I was freaking out. I thought that's how they treat all Africans and stuff. Yeah. But the thing is, the sequel, first of all, it's gonna be very difficult to top that movie. That's a classic movie.
Yeah.
And I'm also hearing that it might kind of be, these are just rumors, but I'm hearing that it's gonna be kind of SJW-y. Like they're gonna have a female who's gonna end up leading Zamunda and things like that. And that really, yeah.
Now I gotta ask you a question. Is that a thing in Africa where you have female leaders dominating like tribes?
No, that is very rare. I can't think of a female leader dominating, maybe in Egypt, but not an African tribe. Right. So I don't know. I guess Africa's not really their market. So we'll see how it flies in North America, but it's the same old ruining all the classics, eh?
Yeah, that's terrible. But that always happens when they try to remake a classic. It's never better than the original. It's a quick cash grab. So I might just totally avoid it, not watch any kind of trailers or anything, and enjoy the old movie.
Yeah, that's true, man. Well, I appreciate you being open about your views on abortion. It's a very controversial issue, but it's nice to know that there are people who understand what it's all about, and not this crap of, oh, it's not a baby, it's a fetus, and all that wordplay that they do, mental gymnastics to get away with it. But anyway, great talking to you. Have a great evening.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you. All right, thank you to No Low King for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah, I'm an open guy. I'm gonna say how I feel. That's just me. So you're gonna get. I'm an honest person. You're gonna get honesty. Not everybody wants to do that, but hey, that's why I'm here. If you want one of these flags, John Crispy, there's a link in the box. The flags are for sale. Not these ones. Well, not mine. These are my flags, but you can get these same flags in the link below. So check them out. BHEdesigns.com if you don't see the link, or if you can't type the link in, or if you can't go to the link for whatever reason, BHEdesigns.com. Check them out. All right, call you on the line, 347.
Joshua.
All right, Joshua, what's going on?
What's going on with you too, Auntie Brian Logan?
Everything's straight, man. What's happening?
Not much as of lately, but I really want to talk about the Alabama Senate passing the very controversial abortion law, because the left has gone bonkers because they think that there's not a baby in there, it's just an object in there, it's against women, it's against black people, which is BS because, like you said, we're 13% of the entire population of the United States. We are the most aborted. We are. And also, and that Roe v. Wade is a lie? It's based on a lie?
Yeah, that was because the person that was the woman
she
in the
was
case
never sexually assaulted.
Yeah, like it was. She tried to come back and be against it before she passed.
Right, yeah, and that's all I wanted to be repealed, because all of this, like the Georgia Senate, Georgia passing the hard B pill, the Alabama bill, Kentucky, and all the other states are passing. Well, except for New York and California, where majority of the blue states are passing anti-abortion bills. And it might even go to the Supreme Court, which they 10 out of 10 going to repeal Roe v. Wade. And the left is going to go because of that.
Well, I mean, people don't even understand what that means. A lot of people don't even understand what Roe v. Wade is all about. If Roe v. Wade is repealed, if it's ignored, what'll happen is abortion will be left up to the states, which is what is going on right now. Each state can have their own laws about what abortion is going to be. And that should be what it is. That's the best thing. Now, if it were up to me, I would say no abortion nationwide, outlaw it. But if you want to compromise, you could just say have each state do what they want to do as far as abortion is concerned. That would be, a middle of the road decision. People just think that, if you allow this bill, then they're going to have every state nationwide force abortion. That ain't the case.
Yeah. And another thing I want to talk about is Jussie, the freaking gay Tupac, Shakur Smollett, making Empire cancel. Guess what? Karma is a bitch. You got a bite in the butt because you are a greedy son of a bee, and you just made Fox is one of the most popular shows. Empire get canceled because you stupid ass actions.
Yeah, I mean, he killed his own show, but that was predictable though. Like as soon as this whole thing, as soon as the whole Jussie Smollett situation happened, right when I heard it, I was like, oh, nah, that's going to end badly. It's going to be, the show's going to be over. I figure all this would happen, and here we are. And people were already saying that the show was getting stale. It had been stale for a long time. So this right here was just kind of like the nail in the coffin, and it pretty much finished. But it is what it is.
Yeah. And also, one more thing I want to talk about is, do you know what Democrat nominee I won?
Who?
The former governor of Montana, Brian Switzer, the former governor of Montana.
Okay. Now, what about him is attractive?
He's a conservative Democrat.
Okay, so is he anti-abortion, pro-gun, anti-open border?
Pro-life. He's pro-life and he supports he's anti-gun control. What I saw on his Wikipedia page.
Okay. Well, see, the thing about Democrats,
pro-choice.
Yeah, see, the thing about Democrats is that they may have certain things that you like, but at the same time, they're still Democrats. They may not really be able to get things done on their particular side of the fence because you got to work with others.
But since he's like a blue dog Democrat, some Republicans like majority of the Republicans might vote the policies that is for conservatives, including moderates, conservatives, and independents as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why I really wanted to become the nominee, but in 2020, if I was writing in 2020, but in 2024, I hope he wins in 2024. So yeah.
I'm with you, man, but I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Definitely appreciate you too.
All right, now. All right. Thank you to Joshua for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And thank you to my man SOBC for the super chat who says, there's nothing better than operating on a natural energy and a clear mind. Drugs and alcohol take you out of that natural state. 100%, boss. Yeah, like if I was to be settled down with, drugs, alcohol, all that, I couldn't operate the way I operate. I could not be efficient. I just couldn't really do what I do. In my opinion, those things numb you. And I can't operate like that. Thank you to We're Waiting for the Donation who says, is there anybody from the Empire cast still supporting Jussie? Some people are, but I don't know their names. I think maybe Taraji P. Henson, but outside of that, I'm not really sure. 978, 979, you're in line. I'm speaking to. 979, you're on the line.
Hello?
Yeah, someone speaking to.
What's going on, ABL? This is LaMarcus.
All right, what's going on?
I know it's off the subject, but I've been hitting you up about the Malia Davis story out of Houston, Texas.
Yeah, okay. I got your email just now. And
please do that story, because me and my wife, I've been crying about this every day because I have a daughter that has the same name of this little girl, and
wow.
It's very sad what this mom did to this little girl. She lied to the police several times about what went down and said to her. She went out to her dad's funeral, going to find out her dad died back in April of this year, and this story is like very heart-wrenching. It's very sad, and I'm getting like overly emotional right now just talking about the story because it's been so many lies being told, and even the news, if you check every news station, every time the lady found out the camera is on, she started to pretend like she's crying in front of the news camera. This is BS, man. This is like, she knew what was going on. She wanted to claim that she'd been abused by this guy. Then she started saying that she found out the guy was sending naked pictures to other dudes to try to save herself. And I'm just like, are you kidding me?
So what happened? Okay, now I'm reading the first part here, and it says that she was a 4-year-old girl who was originally reported as being kidnapped by 3 Hispanic men. But
yes.
What is the actual story that people know to be true?
Well, that's a story. The mom keeps changing the story up. Originally, we were told that this guy was kidnapped by. He said he was on his way to go pick his girlfriend up or fiance up from the airport. He said on the way he was going to pick her up, he heard a thump. So he stopped the freeway to check his tires because he thought he had a flat tire. And he said 3 Hispanic men pulled over to the side. When they pulled over, they said, "Oh, how beautiful the little girl was." Then he said all of a sudden somebody hit him on top of his head, and then he blacked out. Then he said that he woke up in the middle of a truck and passed out again. Then he said when he woke up, he was on Highway 6 in Sugar Land with his son. Now, me living in the Houston area, Sugar Land area, this guy said he was passed out on Highway 6 in Sugar Land. I'm like, a black man on Highway 6 with a 2-year-old kid, a 1-year-old kid, Sugar Land Police Department would have been got called out, especially on Highway 6 in Sugar Land. That's not going to happen. A black man passed out with a kid, that's not going to happen in Sugar Land, and the police don't get called out. So supposedly he went to the hospital to get checked out. Then he finally said, okay, well, now remind you, it's like almost 24 hours later, he gets to the hospital, report a little girl missing. And then his story just kept changing with the police. the mom and the grandmother gets on a news camera and said, "Oh well, we left my daughter called." She said her daughter called her from the airport saying the dude nowhere to be found. And then suppose, like I said, the mom's story just keeps changing over and over and over, and people in the Houston area is getting really, frustrated with her because she just keeps changing the story up, and I'm just like, dude, like why do you keep lying to these people? Why don't you tell these people? Then we kind of found out that her dad died back in April, so we're like, well, you had something to do with it because why your dad died back in April? Now you saying you was at your dad's funeral? This is May. Where were you when your fiance was doing this to your daughter? Then she said he was sexually abusing her daughter. Then she said that he was being abusive towards her and the daughter. Her story just keeps changing.
Well, yeah, I mean that's crazy, and I've seen kind of stories before, and it usually ends where the people that are talking about where we're so sad and we're crying, they're in on it. I'm gonna look into this and see what's going on. This is a crazy story. So,
man, ABL, man, this story is crazy, man. I had to step outside because of my wife and kids don't see me crying like this. But I have a daughter that has the same name as this little girl, and for the past few nights I can't sleep because I keep thinking about this little girl. And this dude even has photos with him, with the little girl following him inside the apartment complex, inside their apartment unit, because the camera above his door. And then he comes out like hours later with a laundry basket and a black plastic bag, and everybody's saying that's where her body was at, in that plastic bag. And I'm just like, are you kidding me, man? Like, dude, why don't you just go and tell people they arrested the guy, but they have not yet arrested the mom yet? And I'm like, why y'all haven't not arrested the mom yet? She has several CPS cases out against her with child neglect, and CPS put this child back in this guy's in this lady's home instead of giving this baby to her biological dad. Like, the system has failed this child, man. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, it's crazy, and I don't even know what to say, man. I'm gonna just look into this case, man, and stay strong.
You have
for your
my
family.
email.
I got
Yes,
your
sir.
email.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I got your email, so I'm gonna definitely follow up with you on this for sure.
I appreciate it, sir. And like I said, I've been law enforcement for 12 years, and I've never seen things like this before, man.
All right, man. Stay strong, man.
I appreciate it.
Peace. Yeah, man. It's a cold world out here, man. People are crazy. So, yeah. Hopefully, the people that are involved with that get brought to justice. I've seen these kind of stories before. It'd be somebody out there talking about, oh well, my daughter got kidnapped, my son got kidnapped, and then they be involved with it. There was a case in Virginia that was like this, and if anybody's in Hampton Roads, you know what I'm talking about. It was a young lady that was, I think she was first reported missing, and then it would find out that her stepdad had something to do with her death. It was some drugs involved. Anybody that's out there in the area, you know what I'm talking about. He was in the news for a while talking, and everybody in the area knew that, nah, this don't add up. Something ain't right. He's lying. And then he got locked up for breaking and entering and just doing crazy stuff. And it's like, man, please get this guy locked up. Send him to jail because we know that he did this. And then he finally did get arrested. It's like, finally. Like, so hopefully this case comes to an end the same way that one did. But you got sick people out there. You really do. So I'm going to look into that case for sure. All right. So thank y'all for joining. I really appreciate you. Let me see. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I appreciate y'all for chiming on in with whatever you got going on. And thank you all for the super chats. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you to Jai Crispy, who says, what's your take on Andrew Yang's UBI? UBI has no chance of being successful. UBI is a pie in the sky. And it's not even really all of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. He says that UBI will replace any kind of welfare benefits you have. Or you can keep whatever benefits you have on welfare if they are the equivalent to the UBI, which is $1,000 a month. If your welfare is valued at $800 a month, what you'll get is $200 on top because you already get 800 or 1,000. So you're not really going to get that big of an increase. If anybody would win from this, it'd be those that already got money. But it's not even going to be a win. You're talking about something that's going to cost like over $1 trillion, like a year to fund. Where does that kind of money come from? People just throw these numbers around like they're nothing. $1 million, maybe. $1 billion, maybe. $1 trillion, like 1.3 trillion. I mean, come on, you're talking about like the amount of money you would spend on this over a certain period of time would be more than the GDP of the entire world, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not really going to happen. It's a promise that he wishes could happen, but it's not really going to happen. But I digress. And then I've not heard about him being anti-open border. So if you're not for anti-illegal immigration, if you want everybody and the mama to come in and they can get rights and in-state tuition, this, that, and the third, what's to prevent all of Mexico from coming in and getting UBI? How are you going to stop that? And then all you're going to do is just bankrupt the nation more than what we are already. It does not make any sense. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller on the line, 346.
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Ethan.
All right.
So I've been watching this show for a bit, and I was wondering your take on Captain Marvel and all this SJW stuff around that.
Okay, Captain Marvel, I saw that movie. I wasn't impressed. I did a review on my gaming channel if you want to check it out, but I wasn't impressed. And I didn't like all the politics that were around it. First of all, it came out during Women's History Month, and it came out on Women's History Day. I didn't even know that before I went into the movies, but afterwards I was like, okay, I see the rollout. You're trying to have this whole girl power thing going on. The movie itself, I felt like was geared more towards women. And for that, I felt kind of left out. It was like, all right, maybe if I was a young girl, I could relate to what's going on here. Because at a certain point in the movie, they introduced this young girl character, and she's like rooting Captain Marvel on. I'm like, all right, I can see what they're trying to do. If I was a kid and I was a girl, I might like it. But I'm a full-grown adult male. I can't really identify with this. And then Brie Larson was not really a good actor in this particular movie. She had this facial expression was kind of like deadpan, not really lively. I liked the DC movie more, Wonder Woman. That was fantastic. Gal Gadot was fantastic. She was strong, a brilliant actor. That was a great movie. Captain Marvel, on the other hand, not so much.
Yeah. Also about all the politics and controversy around Brie Larson, like how she was basically hitting on what she would call a white dude. I'm not hating white dudes. I'm saying this movie is not for you.
Yeah, that was pretty weird. You know, that goes back to the whole politics thing that was surrounding it. And in the way she was kind of right. She was kind of being racist with the whole white comment, but she was right when she said it was not for dudes. So I can't even get mad at her for that because no, it wasn't for dudes. It was for women and probably young girls watching with their moms. You know, if you are in middle school and you go see it with your mom and you want to see some girl power on the silver screen, that's perfect. A perfect girls' night out to go see that movie. But for men, regardless of the race, it was not designed for us.
Yeah. So, yeah, honestly, like, and have you seen Avengers Endgame yet?
You said what now?
Avengers Endgame, have you seen it?
I've not seen that yet. It's long, and I just don't have a lot of time to go see it, but I do plan on seeing it pretty soon, so no spoilers.
Well, I won't give any spoilers. I'm going to say, well, A, Captain Marvel didn't have hardly anything to do with it, and B, when she isn't there, she gets whooped. So I'm just glad that the directors didn't make it where she basically saved everybody. So I'm just thankful for that. So.
Okay. That was kind of spoilery because at the end of the first one, what was that? Was that the end of the first Avengers? They had the caller. So that was a little spoilery, but I feel you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's all. I just wanted your take on this whole Captain Marvel thing. Since I'm worried in the future she'll basically be like the new leader of the group, and yeah, that's it basically. But
All right, thank you for the call.
yep.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, Captain Marvel, not a fan, but Wonder Woman was great. I really, really enjoyed that movie. That was good. The battle scenes are well done. Gal Gadot played a good character. It was just good. I'm starting to like the DC movies more than the Marvel movies. It used to be the other way around, but now it's not like that because you know, I don't know. I think the Marvel movies, they're kind of getting away from it. Like I'm a big fan of X-Men, and they're not doing more of them until Dark Phoenix comes out. I'm definitely going to see Dark Phoenix. All right, let's get to my next call. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
Hey, Anthony, what's going on? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
No, not too bad. What was I going to say? What's your take on what's going on with Iran right now?
Well, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm watching the news. They're talking about they've evacuated something. It might have been an embassy or something in Iraq. And they got a carrier out there, if I'm not mistaken, in the Gulf. And aside from that, I don't really know what's going to happen. People are talking about there could be a conflict. You know, rumors talking about there's going to be a deployment like 100,000 troops. There's going to be a war. I don't know what's really going to happen. Trump has not signaled that he's going to try to attack or invade or anything like that. So I kind of just got to wait to see what happens. But I hope that it won't be any kind of invasion or any kind of war. But one thing I will say is that if Iran were to attack us, then what are we to do? I don't think we should be attacking anybody else just unprovoked. But if you get attacked, then you got to be able to retaliate, although that should be the last resort.
Yeah, of course. It's just that the fear that I had from the beginning when he hired Bolton to be his national security advisor and also having Pompeo, because here again, they're part of the establishment and they're warmongers. You know, John McCain must be giddy right now because there's a possibility we might get into a conflict with Iran.
Yeah, it's possible, but I got a feeling that we won't go down that road. But like you said, you got Bolton and Pompeo in there, so it could go a wrong way. I just hope that it doesn't.
Yeah, I know. We'll still stay tuned, as they say. What else have I got? And I'm just want to touch on these tariffs. I believe Trump is just using this, obviously, as leverage against China because he's probably trying to, because India is over there and they have a big economy. He probably wants to make a deal with India where we're going to buy more products at the same price or if not cheaper from China as compared to China as a new trading partner.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it makes sense to me because China is like, they turn us to pieces in this trade thing. And, that can't go on forever because if they make everything, then how are we going to be able to survive? You can't be a country that depends upon another country for everything that you have in the actual place. Yeah,
and this is just, we have the leverage on them. They need us more than we need them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because without us, they don't have any consumers. All of what they make is coming here. They make some things for themselves, but what they really need is the American consumer. So they're really dependent upon us. So they can't just be dictating the trade. It's got to be a two-way street.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Have you watched? Have you seen these videos over the last few months that Caitlin Bennett has been doing? I think it's the channel's called Liberty Hangout.
I think I've heard of her before, but I've not really been watching the videos.
Yeah, she's that girl that after she graduated from Kent University last year, she went on the campus, I think, with her AR-15, and that's where she kind of like got her name to fame. And she took over, I think, this YouTube channel called Liberty Hangout or something. And she was actually just up here over the weekend, up here in Times Square. As a matter of fact, I was actually near Times Square on Friday night hanging out. I went to a show over there, and I didn't know she was over there. I would have gone over there and spoken to her, but it was just hysterical. Some of the videos that she's done, I think 2 weeks ago. She was on the campus of Rutgers University in New Jersey, and it's just amazing on how brain dead these people are that she speaks to.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you never know how people are until you just get out there, you're talking to people, and you'd be surprised what you hear. I mean, like, I'm in some of these airports, and I get some questions, have conversations, and I can just say some real basic things, and it's like I open a whole new world. People just don't know a lot of information that I have that should be common knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you on that. And I'll just leave you off with this. For all the Knicks fans that are jumping off the building that because they didn't get the first pick overall in the draft, and, people need to take a step back. They got the number. They're going to be selecting 3. You don't think you're going to get someone good at number 3? And we got to see what's going to happen with free agency. There's a chance you could pick up one of these 2 or 3 top-notch free agents that are going to, be on the open market come July 1st.
Like, I was watching ESPN today, or I might have been watching Fox, one of these shows, and they were talking about how the Knicks could get 3 top free agents. They could get Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and I forget who else wants to come to New York. But then if they have the 3rd pick, then they can get okay, let's say Zion goes first. You might have Ja Morant go second. You can get RJ Barrett, who's a very good player. Who played right with Zion and was getting good numbers at Duke. So you can have a good squad right now in the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, people have no patience. I mean, it was even the same thing with the NFL draft. I mean, I was even befuddled when Gettleman took Daniel Jones at 6, the quarterback out of Duke. I mean, I thought they were going to go with Haskins, but listen, let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. I mean, people, they because something doesn't go away, they want to right away cut the closest artery and bleed out.
Right. Just take a breath and chill and see what happens.
It's just the mentality of the sports fan up here in New York, and that's it. So, all right, Anthony, I'll talk to you soon. All right, have a good night.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Got it. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you to Mike from Queens for the call. Most certainly appreciate him, and I appreciate you guys. Yeah, the Knicks, if they can get some free agents, but they got to tighten their front office up because sometimes the free agents don't work out the way that they're supposed to. It is what it is. Yeah, New York sports fans. Who are the best sports fans? New York or Philadelphia? Philadelphia, they'll boo anybody. They'll boo Santa Claus. They'll boo Jesus. They'll boo anybody. They don't really care too much. But let me get to my next call. 210, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Brandon from San Antonio.
All right, what's going on?
Nothing much. Yeah, so this whole thing with Arthur, man, stop messing with cartoons.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. The next thing they're going to end up doing is, remake G.I. Joe, and then Commander Cobra or Cobra Commander, whatever they're going to make him be a homosexual because he has a lisp.
Right. It's like, come on, like leave the cartoons alone. And, my thing is, okay, Arthur was perfectly fine not having any kind of stuff like this for 22 years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why try to make a drastic change now? The guy's been a teacher for the whole time. All of a sudden now he's gay and he's getting married to a man. I mean, what are we doing? Just leave the kids alone.
Yeah, it's so weird. And also, like another point about the Texas shooting, I guess, out in Baytown.
Yeah.
Has who's that rapper that lives out there? Big Bun B.
Bun B, yeah.
Yeah, Bun B. Has he said anything about it?
I don't know. I've not looked at his social media or anything like that, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. I just figured I'd ask. I thought that might be kind of relevant since his whole ordeal with the what was it, the NRA or something like that. Yet he's a gun owner himself.
Right. Okay. Matter of fact, hold on. I got something here. Hold on, right quick. He says, I'm not posting the video, but by now most of you have seen it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We must protect our women at all costs. What kind of man feels that threatened by a pregnant woman? Cold world.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just some actual personal knowledge. I'm actually related to Henry Wade through family marriage.
Oh, okay.
My mother's brother married one of his daughters, and I always talk to her about the subject on, every time I talk to her, then I bring up all this stuff with abortion because she likes to talk. My aunt likes to talk politics, and I'm always I'm so surprised at how hard he went, even being a Democrat. Trying to fight for women's rights when he was a Democrat.
Right.
And I don't know. I just always thought that was just very funny. I just wanted to share that little bit of knowledge. I didn't want to get too much into it, but I
mean, sometimes, you got Democrats that will try to do right things, but nowadays it's become so polarized. It's not even possible anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I never knew him to be because I never paid attention to the Roe v. Wade thing or whatever. I always just knew him as prosecuting Jack Ruby. So that was just I just always knew him as that guy.
Right.
So, but yeah. Anyways, I just wanted just be real quick, and I just thought just leave cartoons alone.
Absolutely.
They're cartoons. Come on.
100%.
I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, you have a good one.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Shout out to the caller. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's interesting related to Henry Wade through marriage. Yeah. I don't know, in days past, things were so much better. I feel like we've so-called progressed so much. We've progressed right off a cliff, and it's really kind of scary. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller. What's this? Kerplunk?
Yeah, formerly Kerplunk. You got a good ear hold on me?
Oh yeah, you sound great.
All right, then. I'm trying to cut down that feedback a little bit. I heard I'm at an undisclosed location. I had to come and join you there. I was out doing my thing, and I found a corner in the back of a restaurant, just doing my thing from here.
Gotcha.
I changed my channel name to Uncle Reggie, so I think I'm gonna. What that Kerplunk was kind of a joke anyway, so it was kind of I don't even want to get into it.
So you got a little name change there going on. You're trying to change the branding.
Change the branding, but not the content.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna keep the same content. Yeah, a little bit of satire, but Uncle Reggie is something my niece calls me. So
gotcha.
Yeah, she's a little kid. She's adorable. Heart goes out to that last caller. I heard a little bit about what he was saying there. And it sucks when people are broke up like that.
Yeah.
I am an empathetic person. Despite my appearance, I am an empathetic person. I do take that stuff to heart. I'll be saying a couple prayers for that guy tonight, so I hope he sleeps well tonight.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One thing, Jussie Smollett, he brought down an empire. Is that what I'm led to understand?
Yes, he did. I mean, they won't come out and say it, but I mean, just put two and two together. The show was doing well, the ratings were doing well, but then when he does his whole thing, ratings plummet. People are protesting. They're saying cancel the show, kick him off. The staff is divided. The cast is divided. So, I mean, then they say just a few months later, okay, now we're canceled. So put two and two together. That's what it seems like happened. He killed the show.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how that played out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or how it's continuing to play out.
No doubt. Are you there, boss? Yeah, your phone. I don't know. You got the. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
You hear me?
How you find? Yeah.
All right. So then we got. Thank you. People kicking money at me. I got my clothes on too.
All right, you're breaking up kind of bad here, boss. You might be in a bad location. All right, we gotta get back to you. Sorry, Kerplunk, but you gotta get you a range booster or something like that to get back on track. restaurant, everybody trying to use their phone, trying to see what's happening with the game or something like that. So thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you, but we got to keep rocking. 206 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Charles.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, man. So I was just wondering. I just saw on your show there about the Alabama abortion bill. Just wondering a few things. Seems to be confusion. Confusion about that. Like, for instance, was the rape or incest? Was there a provision for that included? And are residents permitted to go to another state if they do wish to seek beyond that? Of course, this, that, and the third. We know how they're spinning things. How the left does.
Well, there is no rape or incest provision. That's not included in the bill. It was actually a female House rep that came out and said that if they were to include that bill, she would have protested if they were to include that part of the bill, she would have protested because the whole point is to speak against the language of Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade says that the baby is not a human being. It's not a person. It's just a fetus, zygote, whatever they want to call it. It's not a person with rights. So they want to fight against that. And she was saying that if you have rape or incest in there as a provision, then that undermines the whole point of the baby being a human being with rights. So that's not in there at all. Now, as far as going to a different state, I'm not really sure about that. I think in Georgia, they were talking about there could be a punishment if you went to a different state. But Alabama, I'm not really sure. I've not heard that be expressly said one way or the other. So I can't really answer that question.
Okay. I see. It's it's alarming. It's interesting that you mentioned that about the Roe versus Wade. Whereas on the right, they tend to believe life begins with conception. Of course, the left saying otherwise, and then states such as New York passed their bills on one extreme, and then Georgia and Alabama are passing this. So it's just so. No, man, it's just so polarizing, to say the least there.
Oh, it definitely is. But I think what Alabama is doing is the right thing. I think if they repeal Roe v. Wade, that'd be the best course of action because what will happen is abortion or the question of it will go to the states. So it wouldn't be this whole thing where every state must have abortion. Each state will have their own laws. So I think that should be the case. And if you were to have abortion be banned in certain states, you may be able to travel to a different state having an abortion. But that might be the ultimate solution. I would ban abortion totally 100% if I were to be the king. If I could just rule by fiat and pass some kind of decree, that's what I would do. But to, work in society and be compromised, and I would say have it be a state-to-state issue. That'd be the best course of action, in my opinion.
Yes. Do you think then? You think there's a possibility. Well, pending any conservative appointments, and of course the election next year that the Supreme Court could potentially hear and overturn Roe versus Wade, even though it's been over 46, going on 5 decades that it's been established.
It could happen. It definitely could happen, and I think you have a court that may do it. Right now, it's kind of iffy because you have the Chief Justice in there, and he may not want to do that. I think there was a bill already that went to the Supreme Court that kind of mentioned this, and he voted against it because he's kind of the swing voter. But if you have Ruth Bader Ginsburg kick the bucket, or you have somebody like Stephen Breyer kick the bucket, maybe who else? Clarence Thomas may retire, not die, but he may retire. If any one of them or all of them leave the bench, and you have Trump in there, now you have another conservative Supreme Court justice. So if you have 6 versus 3 versus 5 versus 4 right now or more, you'd be able to repeal Roe v. Wade. If you don't have that, then I don't really see it happening.
Gotcha. Very interesting. Thank you for answering those questions, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, hopefully they do repeal Roe v. Wade. That'd be a great thing for me, but I don't really see it happening right now. You got to have at least one more justice in there that's conservative, then you'd be able to make some traction. But until then, I don't really see it, unfortunately. But let me get to my next call. All right, Victor, what's happening?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Hey, so the abortion thing. Now, like I said before, whether you agree with the abortion or not, the main thing is we need to change our view of what sex is. And if we change that, then we could see a dramatic decrease on abortion.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah. And I think the reason why people have this messed up view on sex is because the sexual revolution that happened, I believe, in the 70s or something. Because now we see sex as a recreational sport instead of looking at what it's supposed to be, to procreate.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is like no real thought process behind it. People just do it just because they want to. They don't think about any kind of long-term consequence. They don't think about anything. It's just like, okay, I want to do it. I want to do it. And that's it.
Yeah. And did you see a video of a woman who's talking to children about her abortion experience?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so it's a YouTube video of a woman talking about her abortion experience to some kids.
Hold on. Before you go on, what is the setting? Like, is she a teacher? Is she in a classroom? Like, what is the setting here?
Nah, it's just a one-on-one interview with children.
Oh, okay. So they're like in the studio or something? Like, where are they at?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the children, a black kid, probably around 11 or 12, asked her, well, why didn't you use protection?
Wow. Hilarious. Like, he just came out with it and just said it. Like, an obvious question.
Yeah, it's an obvious question about why aren't you held accountable for making life? And that's the big thing. Is that people don't want to have accountability. And because of that, we are reckless with our sex parts. And the ones who are suffering the most are the children.
That's right. People, they don't really care about that. You got a lot of people that are narcissistic, only are worried about themselves, self-aggrandizement, self-gratification. They don't really worry about those that they are impacting in a negative way. And this does have negative impacts that spread. You can't really get away from that.
Right. And there was one Democrat, another black guy in Alabama, that said, I'm about to cry because you just told my daughter that she could get raped without any consequence. Well, no, because the rapist will go to jail.
That's right. I mean, rape is not legal. This bill did not legalize rape. I mean, it's crazy. Like, the consequence is upon the person that did the rape, not upon the baby who was innocent.
Yeah. And then, and what I don't like about the people who want to use the rape argument is that they don't want to keep it there, because they always ask the question, well, what about the women who has a medical condition or who are raped? And you could ask them the question that, okay, let's say that if we allow abortion for just those, will it be okay? And they will actually say no, because they want every woman to have a choice.
Right, exactly. And then we saw what happened in Virginia, where they're talking about abortion can be had at any point in the pregnancy up to the point of birth, maybe even after the birth, because of physical anguish or mental anguish. So you could be having a bad day. You could be kind of exhausted. You could be a little tired. You could just be feeling blue that day. So I want to have an abortion. What's the reason? Well, I feel sad today. All right, cool. at 8.5 months gestation. It's ridiculous. But let's go back to what you were saying. They're going to stop right there at the whole medical thing. They're going to keep going on and on and on to the point where they're talking about after the baby is born, what are we going to do?
Yeah. And it's kind of funny that when Joe Rogan interviewed Alex Jones,
Yeah.
Alex Jones brought up what the Virginia governor said about basically let the baby die after death. And Joe Rogan was like, "Nah, no one in their right mind would say something like that." And he got a big dose of red pill when he found out that the governor did say something like that.
Yeah, that was huge. I saw that. That was a huge red pill, and it had to happen because a regular person would kind of have that reaction if you're not really understanding what's going on with Virginia. It was like, nah, he didn't say that for real, like in public. Nah, that was a rumor. Nah, here we are. This is what is going on right now.
Yeah, and so with the whole author, the author and the gay marriage. I'll put a lot of the blame on the heterosexuals because of all the divorce that's happening amongst heterosexuals and on their view on marriage because of the divorce and the view on marriage that we devalue marriage so much that anybody could define what marriage is. And that's why we have this author episode of a gay marriage.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And again, and like I said before, I'll also put the blame on the sexual revolution because that too hurt marriage. In fact, I think the sexual revolution hurt a lot of things in America. The marriage, sex, and family.
Yeah.
And it was just ruining everything.
It killed the family. I mean, you had strong households, even in poverty. You had people that were still together, that were able to raise kids, and people take that for granted. A mother and a father in the house raising kids together. Just having the presence of a mother and a father, you're able to have children that are more well-rounded and less susceptible to drugs, violence, gangs, incarceration. Now that you got such a revolution happening, people just doing whatever they want to do. All of that, all the structure that was there is not there anymore. It's really a shame.
Yeah, and you can even see how heterosexuals devalue marriage when you listen to Aisha Curry, Steph Curry wife.
Right.
Did he hear about that?
Oh man, that was crazy. I'm just sitting here like, why would you? And the thing about it. It's what happened was you got jealousy going on. Mm-hmm. You got her just not wanting to play her position. Just be the wife. You got kids. Look, you hear women say that all the time. You want the guy that's a provider and take care of you and not cheating, all this, that, and the third. You get all of that right there, but it ain't enough because, we're conditioned nowadays to be so self-serving, so self-centered, and not be about the family, which is the most important thing because without the family, How do we exist? How do we grow in a prosperous way? We can't.
Mm-hmm. And then also, I saw the meme that said, "This is the reason why Aisha Curry said what she said," and it's the meme of Steph Curry mother. Have you seen that meme?
No, I haven't.
All right, so it has a picture of Steph Curry mother.
Yeah.
And the meme said, "This is why Aisha Curry said this." And it's not because she's jealous of her husband. She's jealous of her mother-in-law. Steph Curry mother looks very, very good. Yeah. Her age.
Yeah, she does.
And while Aisha Curry, if you compare her pictures from back then to now, she really let herself go.
Yeah.
And you're complaining about, "Oh, I'm not getting any attention."
And it can't be the excuse of kids because Steph Curry's mom has 3 kids as well, just the same as Aisha Curry. So that's not an excuse. Mm-hmm. And she was married to an NBA player in Dell Curry, one of the best bench players to ever play the game. So she was in Aisha Curry's same exact position. We don't really know Steph Curry's mom's name because she played the back, she played her position, she supported her husband and raised the kids. Now you got MVP, All-Star, another NBA player, a great daughter doing her thing in sports as well. That's how you got to do it. Aisha got to tighten up and look after see what her mother-in-law did and follow that, rather than trying to be out here, talking Jada Pinkett Smith, doing all this kind of marketing for herself, trying to get herself going.
Yeah, and even if we don't know her name, she's still getting attention.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So before I go, lately in DC, there's this whole gentrification talk, and it seemed like it's really boiling over. Because what I've heard at Howard University is that they saw some white people walking the dogs, and then a few days later, they put out a sign that said, "You gentrifiers need to leave." And I'm like, you got to think, why is there gentrification? If you clean up your neighborhoods, get rid of the crime, and do some renovations at your homes, you don't have to do the up-to-date renovations, but at least take care of the maintenance. Your property value will go up, and it won't be dirt cheap, and you won't have gentrification like DC's having right now.
And you know what? The thing about DC and gentrification, you got a lot of abandoned property that's just left, just unattended, and prime real estate right there in DC, Georgia Ave. Come on, like, people own that stuff. A lot of black folks own it and just let it go. They don't do nothing with it. It'd be bandos. So, I mean, what's going to happen? It's just going to be abandoned forever. People say that they want investment to come into the community. They want jobs. They want renovation. They want investment. Okay, you got it. So now what you going to do? Just continue to live in poverty, continue to live on the same kind of way you're living before, not really doing much, not having any kind of skills or abilities or talent. You can't do that. Once you have money coming to a place, once you have investment, it's going to be outside folks that bring it, because people that live there can't do it. Also, You're going to have stuff start to cost more because you done brought more money, you done brought more value. You can't have money and value in the place and still have things be dirt cheap the way they were before as far as property value. That's not how they work. See, people are asking for a thing they're not really ready to receive yet.
Yeah, exactly. And there's this YouTuber named Craig Lucas that's from the DC area.
I know who he is. He does the parody rap videos.
Yeah, so he made a song against gentrification. And he said, "Yeah, you better not move over here. This was the murder capital one year, and this is where we have the trap houses." And I'm saying to myself, and you're wondering why there's gentrification.
Right. They're trying to clear all that out. Like, New York was the same way. They had all the murder and the drugs and the guns, and before you know it, you got just regular white women walking their poodles. Shout out to my man on YouTube, Akintunde Nation. He's in DC as well. He was talking about how you have a lady walking the poodle in between a dice game. Excuse me, fellas. Excuse me. Sorry. I got my dog here. And what you going to do? The police on every corner. What you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And it was the same like that, too, when I at a church I go by in Alexandria. It's been gentrified, but you had this one section in Alexandria that's still there, and it's actually safe to walk around.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right. That was a great call from my man, Victor. I really appreciate that. Now, I see LG in the chat. I know who you are, too. Don't even try to be incognito, but I know who you are. Call into the show. And when you call in, let me know what your area code is so I'm able to patch you in. So, just go ahead and call. Don't be in the chat room trolling. Alrighty, Sweet Speaks, what's going on?
Well, I was in Oslo last weekend.
Okay, how did that go?
Well, there was a rally in Oslo in favor of persecuted Christians around the world, so I kind of had to go.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was organized by a woman who is originally from Zambia. She's married to a Norwegian. So we had been in touch before. So I live streamed the entire event, although everything was in Norwegian, so I still have to add, English subtitles for, anyone who doesn't understand Norwegian.
Right. So how was the actual rally? Was it a good turnout?
To be in Norway, yeah. I think somewhere around 30 to 50 people showed up to listen.
Okay.
And it was outside the Parliament building in Oslo, which is where you have a lot of rallies actually in Norway or in Oslo. And the thing is, Some of my American, family asked me, but don't everyone know about this? About how Christians are killed in Nigeria and in Sri Lanka and all over the world? And I said, well, in America you do, but in Western Europe, people aren't really aware of this.
Right, absolutely. And there needs to be more awareness put on that because it's a real issue. People talk about all the, the anti-Islam attacks. That seems to be dominating the news. But what about all the anti-Christian attacks? Those actually happen all over the world as well. They don't get quite as much coverage. I think it's because the West generally views Christianity as a quote-unquote white religion and Islam as a brown religion, although that's not even really true. You probably got as many whites and blacks in both, or whites and other people in both.
Yeah, well, you know that there's actually a doctrine in Islam that says that Muhammad was a white man, and if you call him a black man, you're committing haram, like a grave sin.
Right.
But the thing is, this organizer, Judith, she invited people from political parties, from the church, and, well, the official church did not show up because they don't want to rock the boat. And the sad part was not even she had invited some African Christians who lives in Norway, but they didn't come either because they don't want to rock the boat either because they had just told her, well, we're living well in this country and we don't want to create any kind of argument here.
Right, exactly.
So that's sad, but there were people showing up, and I think she is working on creating some kind of organization. So I actually interviewed her after a rally, so the interview is in English, so if anyone want to watch that, you can do that.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be a good piece of content to watch.
Yeah. So apart from that, I'm still over here in Latvia waiting for my visa.
Okay, so that process is still going on. Do you have any update on how long it's going to be before you are able to get that finally done?
No, it's supposed to be done within 10 months, and the 10-month window is by August. So hopefully I'll have one by August, but we don't really know.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not too far away. It's almost June, so hopefully sometime in the summer you'll be able to get it.
That would be good because, well, last time I flew over to America, I was actually pulled over by Homeland Security, and they asked me if I was planning to stay in the country. To which I truthfully said that unless I get a visa that allows me to stay, I'm going back to Europe in February, and then they let me in. I suppose they thought I sounded honest or something.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, because I'm under the impression that a lot of couples are not doing what we do. Instead, they just hope they won't get caught and just stay in the country. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because, things could go wrong, and then you might, have a bad situation on your hands where you get deported, and now you got a criminal thing. So, yeah, you don't want that. Some people are able to stay under the radar, but you kind of rolling the dice there.
Yeah. No, we don't want to do that. We'll stick to the rules even when we think that bureaucracy is slow.
Right, exactly. Yeah, stick to the rules, do things the right way, and then implore others to do the same thing. That's why I'm against all this illegal immigration. It's like, no, you got good, honest people that do things the right way, that do all these different, jump through hoops of fire. So if they can do it, everyone else can as well.
Yeah. And I'm sure my wife sends all her greetings.
All right, great. Absolutely.
Tell her I said what's up. Yeah, I'll just say the Alabama thing is great, but I don't have any more comments on that right now.
Right. It's fantastic. Hopefully it'll be upheld and it won't go through the Supreme Court and get turned down.
Yeah, I hope so. So that's pretty much all I have.
Well, thank you for the call, and tell everybody how to get in contact with you, man, your website and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go to https://aswedespeaks.com.
All righty. Thank you for the call, man. As always, definitely appreciate you.
Well, thank you for taking my call. Have a great evening.
All right, same to you.
Yeah, bye.
All right, thank you to Swede Speaks. I definitely appreciate him. Let me go ahead and get his website up here so you guys can check him out right now. Shout out to the Europeans. I saw somebody in there from Europe as well, I think, and they were saying that he's inaccurate. Just hit him up. All right, I'm talking to LG right now, right quick. I'm going to just speak to LG. LG says, I don't want to have different opinions. Anybody here knows that I love debates. I love having different opinions on the show. That's what I eat, sleep, and breathe debate. I've been debating my entire life since I've been a child. I've been debating since I've been in the womb. If my mom would play some music I didn't like, I would kick her and be like, I don't want that. Let's do something else. And then it might be a little discussion between the kicks and the pats on the belly. What I want, what I don't want. I'm a debater. That's what I do. So LG, I want you to call in and I want you to be able to give your point of view and then we can have a discussion. All right. The phone lines are wide open for anybody. It's not restricted. I answer everybody. So call in. And when you do call in, give me your area code so I know who you are. If you don't want to call in, continue to cry in the chat. You're welcome to cry in the chat if you want to. But if it was me and I did not like a person's opinion, I wouldn't be in their chat room crying for an hour. I would go do something I enjoy. I would go outside, watch the birds, play a game, watch something on TV, go for a bike ride, take a plane ride somewhere, jet ski, I don't know, something, rather than crying in the chat. So if you want to cry in the chat, that's cool, but I'm going to keep going with the chat and have that be that. But let's get to my next call. All right, Jordan, what's going on?
Nothing much. Can you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay, that's good. How's everything going, ABL?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, I'm noticing LG in the chat. I'm trying to talk to this dude or girl or whatever, and it's like he just keeps doing these complex questions. It's like you need to call in if you really want your opinion heard.
I mean, hey, if they don't want to call in, like I said, they can just continue to cry in the chat. And if a person likes to cry in the chat and they enjoy doing that as part of their pastime, then go for it. This is a safe space. Your crying will not be interrupted, so go ahead and keep crying. Okay.
Well, I actually have a question for you about the whole Alabama bill that's been passed.
Okay.
Since they're not going to have, since it doesn't have stuff like the rape issue and the whole what was the other, not incest, because that's kind of consensual in a way, but or the whole threat to the mother's health thing. What do you think should be the solution for women who, I know it rarely happens, but women who end up in that situation? Because I'm kind of all for this bill, but this is kind of the only thing that I feel bad about.
Oh, okay. Well, I think Ben Carson said it well when he was on the campaign trail when he was running in 2016 or during that campaign cycle. He said that the woman should go to the ER immediately and be given the Plan B pill, because there's nothing in that particular bill that says Plan B pills aren't permitted, because what the Plan B pill does is prevent conception. Okay, so if you're able to go to the hospital after you've been assaulted or some kind of incest happens, go there, get treated, get a rape kit done so you're able to convict the person or at least try to identify who it was, and get the Plan B pill to prevent conception. That'd be the solution to that. And also, rape and incest and life with a mother only account for like 1% of all abortions. Most abortions, 99%, is because of convenience. But if you are in that situation, then go to the hospital, get a Plan B to prevent conception, because once you have conception, now you have life.
Yeah, that's that. Okay. And what about the birth control is accessible in places like Alabama? Yeah.
Yeah, because what is birth control really? You talking about condoms and pills? That's everywhere.
Because there are people talking about it's not available, which is why they're trying to fight against this. And I'm like, is that?
That's a pure lie. Because what is birth control? You talking about pills?
Yeah.
Like really condoms. That's what birth control. Condoms, pills. That's it. You can get that anywhere. That's not a real thing. Like, as a matter of fact, it was expressly stated in the statement that they're not trying to attack birth control at all. Birth control or Plan B. It's not about that. It's about the personhood of a baby in the womb. It's establishing the personhood, because Roe v. Wade takes away a baby's personhood in the womb.
Okay. All right. I just wanted clarification on that. This bill actually kind of brings me back to the whole Alyssa Milano thing when she tweeted the sex strike. I know I didn't have time to go over it before, but there was some interesting things about that tweet she mentioned. For one thing, she kind of gave an argument against abortion inadvertently by that when she was talking about abstinence. Did you see that?
No, hold on. Say that one more time.
You're hearing me, right?
Yeah, about Alyssa Milano and the whole sex strike thing.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was I gonna say? When she made that tweet, she inadvertently gave an argument against abortion by talking about abstinence.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could take it that direction because, I mean, that is an alternative. People talking about, what are you going to do? You can't. You got to have babies. You don't have to actually have a baby because you can just not produce a baby. I mean, it's simple. I mean, I thought we all had the birds and the bees taught when we were youngins from the parents. You know, if you lay down with a girl, you lay down with a boy, whatever it is, then you can have a baby. You know, it's simple. Yeah. If you don't do that, then the baby won't come.
And she also mentioned the Greek play Lysistrata, which is interesting in itself because that play is about what happens when women take vows not to make sexual advances or have any sort of intercourse with men in this Greek town. But what she doesn't realize is that if you read the play, you would know that caused so much chaos. You had the women who were seen as manipulative, greedy, drunk, and always obsessed with sex. And then you had the men who acted stupid and used in other terms, cuckold, and in some cases acted like girls themselves. And then you have Lysistrata, who's the main character, who succeeds only because she acted like a man. Nice. So when she taught this Lysistratic, I was like, okay, you need to actually, instead of looking at the premise of these literary works that you're looking at, you got to actually read the story and evaluate it before you use them, because people will just pick you one by one with that.
That's right.
And also, the biggest thing that I see as an issue is that these feminists like to treat sex as more of a transaction now, like it's a good or a service, like it's an activity or a requirement, rather than just a mutual expression of love. Now, it's like they talk about it like it's something that is more commonplace, but doesn't have any sort of deeper meaning to it other than I want it, or it feels good, or it's something that's a good or a service rather than something deeper. It's kind of worrisome and disturbing, if you get me.
Yeah, I do. 100%.
Yeah. So that's just something that really irritates me. But I think the conversation we need to have when it comes to abortion, the sole question that needs to be answered that I don't think people for some reason don't want to talk about is what constitutes a life. That question would be the sole determinant of whether I or many other people want to support abortion or not. And it seems like what people who are against abortion want to do is sway it away to just say it's abortion's rights are women's rights, and you're taking away rights from women, instead of considering whether the person inside of you is a life or not. And it just destroys the conversation. That's why I hate talking about this to people, is because they don't want to talk about what the real issue is. They just want to regurgitate the same talking points that they've been doing.
You know what? I was asking somebody that same question earlier today on Twitter over and over, and they never answered. They never do answer, because my question was very simple. At what point is a baby a human being? And they're talking about, one person was talking about viability. It's like, no. At what point is a baby a human being? Because viability, what does viability really mean? You're talking about the baby being able to survive on its own. When the baby is born, it can't do that. A baby cannot just go find food, change his own diaper and stuff like that. They're totally dependent upon the parents, the mother, whoever is taking care of it. And he's another human being to care for it. So what does viability mean? If somebody is an adult and they're on a breathing tube to maintain their life until they can come back to life and without the tubes, I mean, are they viable? Like a human being is a human being regardless of what, and they don't want to really talk about that fact.
Yeah, that's really the issue. Like, if you have a child in your body whose organs are developed, you have your basic human necessities for life, such as your brain and your heart, and it can constitute as a life. I don't see why we're having this discussion on abortion, because it is essentially murder. That's why I've always, previously encouraged you better have an abortion or birth control right after whatever happens, instead of like weeks and weeks from now, because you're having your organs develop and all sorts of stuff. And now you just want to get rid of the child with taxpayer money, mind you, with Planned Parenthood.
That's right.
That's not something I'm interested in. And on a final note, because I'm not going to talk about everything you have, did you see Cortez? Or I know I don't want to talk about this girl, but did you see Ocasio-Cortez's tweet that talked about the world will end in 12 years thing she made was just sarcasm? It was just dry humor.
Oh, it was dry humor, huh? Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like this whole big study, and she was talking about we're going to end in 12 years, and we need to do something right now. It was she was dead serious. Now she want to say, "Oh, I was just joking." It's just like when somebody punched you in the face, and then like when somebody try to do something to you, and then you call them out on it, and the tables turn. Oh, I was just joking. I ain't mean it. Nah, you meant that. You meant what you did. Don't try to take it back now.
Yeah, I mean, there's this whole meme going on saying, so you were just pretending to be retarded. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how she could just pull that out of your butt. I mean, what deeper meaning, what alternative meaning could you get from saying the world will end in 12 years? I mean, it all, and then she uses a pop culture reference from The Office. I'm like, no. It just doesn't make sense, and I think she's just, I don't know, she's just like she's talking out her butt at this point.
She's an actress, like she was casted to play the role. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, it's just awful, man. I mean, it's humorous. I get to laugh at her, but it's just shocking that New York elected this idiot. At least Trump doesn't do this on a basis, but I mean, you can actually make the arguments like for him, but God, I can't defend Cortez on most of what she says. It just sucks.
That's right.
All right, well, I'm gonna get out, ABL. So I'll talk to you later. I'll chill and chat, maybe talk some more with people, and then peace out.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good stream. Peace.
Peace. All right, thank you to Jordan for the call. Most certainly appreciate him, and thank you all for being here. I appreciate you guys. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Please donate through Super Chat, PayPal, Patreon, right there. I'd appreciate it if you did. And thank you to His Gaze for the donation who says good work. I appreciate you for that. Thank you. And thank you all for joining another ordinary comment. That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, if she was just joking about that, why be so specific with a number? What'd she say, 12? Why say 12? Why not just say it's going to end soon? And why say it's going to end at all? If it's going to end, then there must be a particular date, correct? All right, the caller 216 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is John Breckenridge. How are you?
Everything's great. Can't complain.
Also done some. You still taking calls?
Yes, I am. You're on the line right now.
Oh, I am.
Yeah, you're on live. So what's going on?
Oh, I just want to see what you think about these tariffs. My wife likes your show, and you said to give a call in.
Okay, so the tariffs. I'm not really sure what to think yet because I'm not sure we've seen the full effect. I think the goal is to prevent China from just dominating us in trade because they pretty much are doing that right now. I mean, everything we get is made somewhere in Asia. Your clothes, there's no cell phones made in America anymore. Not one.
Parts of it, you got to keep in mind, cell phones are not made there; they're assembled there.
Well, either way it goes, you can't, any cell phone you get is not going to be made here. It's going to be made somewhere else.
That's even if they were made here. Like, for instance, the Apple phone. 164 companies or countries have companies that makes parts for the iPhone, including the United States.
Okay.
They're all assembled at Foxconn, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Foxconn switch all that operation to Wisconsin, to their plant that they're supposedly going to build, it'll be the same.
Well, they were trying to build it, but I think that plan got nixed.
Yeah, pretty much. But if that would have happened, what I was saying is the global economy is just too intermingled now, and not one country has control over anything, really. It's all about market.
Well, I think China is the dominant force in the world right now.
They're the biggest market.
Huh?
They're the biggest market. That's capitalism.
Well, that's not because of the biggest market. It's because of their expansion into other countries through the Belt and Road, and then just through trade, which is like a virtual Belt.
We've done the same.
Well, I mean, America used to be. Well, I'll put it to you like this: America is still the most powerful country, but now China is starting to try to overtake us. They're not quite there, but they're getting there. I mean, they make so many things. I think they said like 70% of the products at Walmart come from China. 70%.
Yeah. 70%
I mean,
are assembled there.
Okay, so why not be assembled here? Like, what's the deal? Why are we getting everything from China?
Most of the things that are in this world now, in our modern world, are made out of special minerals, correct? The majority of special minerals are mined in Mongolia, in Central Africa, Australia, but the great big amount of them is China. And so for a lot of these world corporations, it is cheaper to be closer to where the minerals are getting refined or mined. For instance, today they just opened up that Trump speed out to open up that, I think it's in Wisconsin, for copper. And a lot of the the people with the environment don't like it. But why did he do it? Well, it's quite simple. It's because copper is one of those special minerals, and it's one that we actually have in some kind of quite abundance, even though it's been mined out. Venezuela is actually, after China, the number 2 country in the world where copper comes from. But of course, we're sort of locked out of that now.
Okay, so what about all the plastic? What about all the plastic? Hold on, caller, hold on. What about all the plastic products that come from China? We can't make plastic stuff here. It's plastic and precious. Okay, so
those plastic pellets. And get this is the funny part. 65% of those plastic does come from here. But those plastic products are then molded and done, and had to be put into products. That's what I'm saying. A lot of the products, there's a whole bunch of countries.
Okay, so why aren't all these plastic products made here in America? Why is everything made in China?
Well, not everything is made there.
Well, most things that you get are made in China. 70% of the Walmart products are made in China. So why? Like plastic, huh?
Cheaper labor costs.
Okay, cheaper labor costs. So now we're getting somewhere. So we understand that China has an advantage and they're dominating. They're starting to take over.
But there are advantages in people. If you have more people, you can pay, like they're middle class, for instance, correct? All right, they only have to get their middle class ruling, and they're now have the largest middle class. It's not about products. It's about the middle class. It's about the power of the middle class. Their middle class has already overtaken us.
So why is India? Hold on. So why is India not as powerful as China when it comes to manufacturing?
Why is India? Because of their social cultures. And
okay, so it's not just about the people, like the amount of people. It's the culture too.
The cultures coming together to work together. India, and this has been India's problem from the existence of India.
Okay, so China has a lot of advantages that make it be a powerful nation when it comes to trade. It ain't just about hold on. It ain't just about the minerals. It ain't just about the cheap labor. It's a lot of different things that make China a force.
Culture.
So here's my thing. At one point, America was a dominant force. Now China's starting to become a dominant force. Do we just wait? Hold on. I got to get a question out. Mm-hmm. Do we just sit back and say, "Oh, let's let them continue to rise, continue to advance, continue to take over," while we just, keep having everything manufactured over there or assembled, whatever you want to say, over there, without having any kind of, and then they're dumping stuff into the country at low cost and manipulating the currency. Do we just allow that to keep going on?
They haven't manipulated their currency for quite a number of years.
Oh, okay. So that's not really, you got a communist state over there, so they're not doing anything that's kind of under.
A communist state.
And hold on.
If you're going to say that, about their communism, which could be, you can even say their communism is a little bit more democratic than our country. We're a republic, not a democracy, which people got to keep in mind.
I don't know about that one. China.
We are a republic. Now they they keep on getting rid of the checks and balances, and like the electoral college, which might be disappearing, or its effectiveness to be disappearing, then we'll become a pure democracy. But technically, we are a republic, and that is totally different than a pure democracy.
Well, I know that. I know because like, all right. So, do you think China and their system of communism is like the equivalent?
Their system of communism.
Hold on, I got to get the question out.
Oh, sure.
Do you think that China and their system of communism is like close to the equivalent of what we have over here, a republic?
No, it's more closer to maybe something like Sweden.
Oh, so China's. So you're saying that China's communism is closer to what Sweden has? Really?
Norway, Sweden, Finland are socialist countries. So it's more closer than that, to that. When the Civil War happened, and this is a lot of things people don't understand about the Chinese Civil War, the empire was still in effect. Even though the Dowager Empress and the emperor were, of course, the Japanese took them out of the place. But the bureaucracy, which was a lot of the nobles and their relatives, were still, in effect, running the country. Now, Mao won the Civil War, technically, not really physically. He won it is because he convinced those people, the nobles, and made a deal with them. And, in effect, kept the bureaucracy in place. So China, even though it's communist with Chinese characteristics. And in a sense, what he did was no different than what Lenin did when they got rid of the czars. When the communists got rid of the czars, they had to make a deal with them. It's why they're still a red square, why they're still the
All right, I mean, caller, I don't mean to, because we got limited time. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see the connection between
But
China and Sweden.
to get back to the whole thing about the tariffs, it won't work. It's an old tool in a new global society. And the reason why it's not going to work, because it's actually playing to what Xi wants and helps him to consolidate more power.
All right, so I mean, in the sake of time,
wants a lot
hold
out
on,
of the
caller. In the sake of time,
market.
caller. In the sake of time, I just want to ask you, instead of the tariffs, what would you do to face this whole situation we got going on?
So what I would have done, I would have kept TPP. I know a lot of people thought it was wrong, but it was actually a very brilliant idea. And in fact, I would have even joined the Silk Road. And that way, from within, I can work and get our companies in because Chinese actually like American products. So that way you can get in and, well, in a sense, the competition begins there. Since we already know they like our products, it's done. The middle class will buy our products over there. It's the biggest market. By these tariffs, there's giving me the ability to lock us out of that. That's 1.5 billion people in the largest middle class. Now, his trouble is China has always been, or their middle class and their upper class.
What did we sell? What products do we have over here that we sell to them? What do we sell? Like, what do we make in America that we sell to the Chinese?
They love our products. They like Ford.
No, okay. So
They like Ford cars.
So cars, all
they
right.
like GMC. They like, of course, the Apple. They like McDonald's.
Apple, that's Chinese.
They like Gap.
A Gap, okay. But we don't make that stuff. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So
yes, well, they're assembled there. So we do make some of that. Some of those products that go into those jeans come from here. The jeans are sold in this and put together there, or in New York, or in Hong Kong, or in Malaysia in the sweatshops.
Okay, so is there anything you want to add before we get to the next caller?
Oh, that's about it.
All right, well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No problem.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, hey, man. China steals a lot. You got 1 million employees at Foxconn. 1 million. Like, nah. These products are not made here. They're made in China. That's everything you have is made in China, pretty much, for the most part. And cars, if you got cars being made right now in China that are from American companies, but they got plants over there. Like we're not making the cars here and shipping them over there. We have an American company over there making cars there, and their people working in the you know, you're not gonna have a bunch of Americans going over there to China to build the cars. But I digress. And the thing is, it's important to have these manufacturing jobs because they're gonna employ Americans. You got the Chinese being employed to make these things, and then the competition is crazy. Apple, look, I have a Huawei phone. I ain't ashamed to admit it. These phones are dominating over there. Why would you want, if you're Chinese, why would you want an Apple when you can get a Huawei for a fraction of the price? It does the same thing. It don't make no sense. And then everything made over there anyway. Like, I don't know. Optimal strategy. I see you in the chat. Why is it that every time somebody want to be a troll or try to just be like, I'm dumb or something, don't want to call in? Are you afraid to call in? If you want to just, object in the chat, that's cool. If you want to call in, I love to have you. Give me your area code in the chat. Call on in. The number to call is 434-658-1220. I'll be glad to have you. So don't even worry about it. Now, if I switch to the line, I'm speaking to.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, yeah, it's the same. The person who was talking about the abortions and illegal immigrants. Anyways, I got an interesting topic I want to talk about. So we all know how the whole toxic masculinity talk is kind of becoming another hot political issue. Well, actually, more of a social issue, but you get the point. Now, I want to ask you this. Do you think, I want to know, does there seem to be a bias towards rural elites when it comes to the toxic masculinity and just white men? Like, how do I ask this out? Is toxic masculinity talked only from it's not talked from a perspective of people, from urban men, minority men, or even LGBT men, right? It's the straight white male demon when they mention toxic masculinity. But I want to get your thoughts. How come toxic masculinity is never addressed in the black community? It's specifically urban swag type toxic masculinity. That's the kind I'm talking about.
Oh, because
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the black community, like these things people talk about on the internet, toxic masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
it's not really real things. It's just things people say online in these little think pieces and NPR and stuff like that. It's not really real. So it's not going to be spoken about a lot in the black community because it's not even the real thing. People are more worried about. Hold on. People are more worried about the everyday issues, trying to eat, trying to get a job. They're not really worried about NPR and MSNBC talking points. It's just not really real.
I agree. Well, and let me tell you what inspired this. Remember the Nipsey Hussle shooting?
Yeah.
Okay, MSNBC believe it or not, did a headline going on why toxic masculinity should be addressed and how Nipsey Hussle's death could have been prevented from that. I was like, oh boy, MSNBC is really trying to hit the nail with that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw that. That was just off the wall. That was crazy. But huh?
No, you go on. I was just laughing at the same time too.
Yeah, but that's what they do. They're talking about these things that people don't really talk about in the black community. It's not even a real topic of discussion. So, I mean, they're just trying to get views and they're trying to get clicks and they're trying to get ratings. But it's just fanciful things. It's not real.
Yeah, it's because the thing is, I will admit, toxic masculinity is a bit of an issue. I'm not gonna say it ain't, but they're trying to make it a white man issue only. Like no. And also, toxic masculinity is not a product of masculinity on its own. Guess where most toxic masculinity comes from? Lower income areas, single mother households, you name it. But since it doesn't match the left narrative, wait, that's not toxic masculinity. That's just people being, I don't know, corrupted in their head.
Right. Yeah. It's weird how that works. It's really weird.
Yeah.
You know, people they pick and choose when to attack certain things they disagree with. You
Mhm.
know, they'll attack religion when it's Christianity because they feel like it's a so-called white man's religion. So they'll attack that all
Mhm.
day. But when it comes to Islam, all of a sudden they want to be hands off because it's not seen as a white man's religion. It's seen as a brown man's religion. So they don't want to attack Islam because they don't want to be accused of being racist. So they
Well,
are
it's not
very
race.
they're very
It's a
convenient
religion,
with
but-
what they attack and what they don't attack.
Yeah, well, it's a religion, not a race, but Muslims are treated like a racial category because
Yeah.
of the strong cultural pressure. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, because I'm not saying black men should be allowed to embrace their masculinity. In fact, I'm up for that more than ever. More attention to black male empowerment causes because yes, black men do need a positive empowerment culture in America, but at the same time, to create that positive empowerment culture, you need positive male influence. And where do most black men get their positive male influence, other than from sports or music?
Well, I mean, it's a good question.
My next topic, I wanted to ask you: do you think the decline of religion has? Okay, so you see how it's becoming more obvious over time how religion is declining in the West, correct?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Islam could go under an exception, but other religions are hard time, declining. But what I do notice is, do you think there's a correlation between the decline of religion and the rise of pop culture?
Maybe so. I hadn't thought about that before, but maybe so. If anything, aside from pop culture, you have a rise in like little identity groups people want to be a part of. That could be it. Kind of like dangerous groups, and also you have other religion filling the void. So a lot of the the Islamic people that become radicalized, they probably come from either a non-religious background or a very religious Islamic background, and they're trying to find something that they can identify with. So that could be part of it as well. But pop culture could also fill that void.
Right, and it's just the correlation is so interesting to think of. And what about the sexual revolution? Does that also cause a huge decline in religion? Do you think that twisted people's heads and went, "Oh, religion is an oppressive institution. Please get us out of here and let us, be free with our sexuality"?
Yeah, that definitely has hurt it as well because there's less family structure, less organization, and then that tends to lead towards religion just kind of going by the wayside. So it was like, why do I need religion? Why have family when I can just do whatever I want and live free? With no structure comes no religion.
Right, and because it's funny how there's less religion than ever, and supposedly people are free, but also people are less disorganized than ever without religion. I noticed it's kind of actually scary.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And it's funny how people are complaining, "Oh, don't indoctrinate our kids with religion," and yet here we are indoctrinating our kids with LGBT stuff. Like, I don't care, honestly. To be honest, there probably have been some gay jokes in cartoons before. I'm not gonna say there hasn't been. I could probably think off my head a couple already. But even then, there were jokes. Like, the Arthur episode was an obvious, it was an obvious political bait, right? Everybody, I bet you if LGBT issues were not trendy, there would have been something more original thought of. But no, they decided to make Mr. Ratburn come out of the closet. I mean, what are you expecting to get out of the children when you show them that? I don't understand. Do you want to make them already question their sexuality or what?
Yeah, I'm with you, man, but I got 2 or 3 more calls. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
No, don't worry, man. Before I go, can I say one more thing?
Go for it.
I think also on the whole topic of masculinity issue, I think men have to stop looking at themselves from a racial perspective and just look at all, especially Western men. They need to unite, and if they want to combat a more corrupted religion like Islam, because at the end of the day, if you're a Western guy, embracing your masculinity is like a moral attack to the left. You could be a black gay man and embrace your masculinity, and they will still try to throw rocks at you. Not literally, just metaphorically, about embracing your masculinity.
No doubt, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller, and thank you all for calling in. Shout out to the trolls in the chat. If you're going to call in, just call. Don't be scared. Don't be afraid. It'll be all right. Let me get to my next call. All right. Hold on. I got somebody. Give me 1 second. 214, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, man, what's going on? This is Tariq.
All right, Tariq, what's happening?
Chilling, man. I got to disagree with that last caller about black toxic masculinity. That is talked about a lot. I don't know if he's went to the root.com. They bash black men all the time on that website. Writing articles like black men are the white people of black people.
Yeah.
Cishet black men and, how we are homophobic. No. All he has to do is read Ebony magazine, who goes hard on black men, Madame Noir. They get these liberal black feminists because what liberals do is that they don't, especially white liberals, they don't have white liberals talking about black men because they don't want to look racist. But they will dispatch these bitter feminist black women to go hard on black men. Or, they'll get these gay or beta males to just talk about the problems with black toxic masculinity and, why we're not protecting our women. So, no, black men are being attacked, definitely. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not getting a slide. If you're a heterosexual alpha black man and you don't pass the question as far as do you believe in gay rights and things like that, they're going to call you a misogynist. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't think that guy has really been looking online. Black men are definitely being attacked for that. With the whole Arthur thing, man, and this is what I mean about the LGBT community, man, because once again, they keep saying, stop worrying about what we do in our bedroom, but yet they keep forcing us to see what they're doing. That was just a whole political move. And my thing is like, why do children need to view that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like, why are they getting our kids at a young age? Like, why aren't we promoting man, woman, and child? You know what I'm saying? The nuclear family is the best family. Why are we my thing is, okay, if you have, let's say if you have two women raise a son, okay, that's fine. He's probably going to get the financial needs he's met, but he's still going to miss that father figure. It's still similar to if a single woman is raising that child because none of them know what it means to be a man. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
just
right.
it's not a good. I just don't understand this push, and it's like they're indoctrinating our kids at a young age because, like the last caller said, like, what are they wanting kids to get out of that? Like, we know gay people exist. The problem I have with liberals in the LGBT community is I think they do this just so they can stay relevant because they create this narrative, which is a fake narrative in the West. Now, it may not be fake in the Middle East or something, but it's a fake narrative in the West as if they are being oppressed and they're being hunted down because they're gay and they're not getting roles and everything. And you see all these Hollywood media bowing down to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you watch that Avengers Infinity, it just seems like, they have to have a gay scene or somebody gay in there. You know what I'm saying? I think Captain Marvel is poised to be gay. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, but I think it's going that way. And it just seems like every show we watch now, there's always a gay character. And they really, I'm telling you, man, they really want a movie. You know what I'm saying? Because they are attacking Marvel for this whole Marvel needs to be doing better for gay representation, as if it's their job. They don't even have to address that topic. They don't want to. Like, who are these people to go up to a company and be like, you need to represent us? I would have said no. Who the heck are you to tell me what to do to my movies? Why don't you create your own movies? If you want gay representation, if you want a gay superhero so badly, or you want some gay cartoon, then you create it. Why do you go like why do they bully heterosexuals as if it's our job to represent them? That's not our job.
That's right.
You do it. Like that's a bully. That's what angers me in these companies. They just, well, yeah, we could do better to represent them, and we will. And it's just so stupid. So yeah, I think they really want a superhero movie, a Marvel superhero movie, and like I said, I think it's gonna be Captain Marvel, where she's just kissing all on a woman, and all of the men are just acting like patriarchal woman haters, and she's just showing how much better she's better than men. All just for a political statement. You know what I'm saying? And when you step back and take a look at this, man, all this is just social programming, man. This is just trying to rewire our brains to accept things for just political purposes, man. That's it. It just all goes back to voting, supporting Democrats, and things of that nature. And I remember I watched one of your videos about the Colorado shooting. You're right. It just miraculously just disappeared.
It vanished.
One of the guys was a transgender, man. You know what I'm saying? That is virtually getting no coverage. That is, could you imagine one of the dudes walked up in there with a MAGA hat on? You know what I'm saying? And just start firing away and said, man, I hate these liberals, these gays and all that. Like, that would be 24/7, and it would be blamed on Trump. And like I said, Trump would have to answer to that. They will force Trump. They'll say, Trump, do you see how your rhetoric is causing this to happen? And he will be forced. But because one of us is a transgender, there's nothing there. And I think it's the same thing with this Jussie Smollett situation. They want to create a narrative where people who are part of the LGBT community, they're just perfect. They can do no wrong.
That's right.
And they're always being oppressed. When no, they are human like us. They are capable of committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? Just like us. And another thing that we don't want to address is you gotta understand, man. Like it's bad enough that young girls get touched on. That's that no one likes that. But young boys are getting touched on too. You know what I'm saying? So to say that everyone in the LGBT community is just perfect and they're not doing things. No, some of them are molesting kids, just like heterosexuals. But see, we don't ever want to talk about those topics because now it goes deep into the LGBT community and what they're really about. And they are the ones that's having these kids dress up 11-year-old in drags performing in front of men. What is that about? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. if heterosexuals did something like that, where we got a young 11-year-old girl and she's shaking the butt in front of some grown men, we would have an issue with that.
That's right.
But it's completely okay to dress a young boy up. That's what I'm saying. Something is wrong, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't take these people seriously, man. And I wish these companies will stop getting bullied by them and just ignore them and say, you know what, if you want representation, you create your own movie. And I even tell black people that too, because I don't know if you watch Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
I've never seen it.
Okay, well, pretty much it's mostly white people in the movie. It's set it's set in Europe and the whole medieval times thing. And you see black folks writing articles about black representation and Game of Thrones could be doing. And what angers me about that is like, why don't you create your own movie then? Black folks want to create movies that's always about comedy or a romance or the hood. Why don't you create your own type of African, African historical thing where they're fighting and then, they got dragons? Why don't you do it? Why do you wait on white people to direct you to do it? And that's what angers me. So they're complaining that Game of Thrones have too many white characters. There's not a lot of people of color. And no, I wouldn't suspect that there's a bunch of black people there because that's in Europe. It's that type of stuff right there that angers me, man. It's because it just feels like everything. I feel like nothing is authentic anymore. Like everything just has to have a check mark. You got to have one black person. You got to have one gay person. You got to have one female in there. And when you watch these movies, it just doesn't. It feels like it's a political statement and it doesn't feel organic. You know what I'm saying? But so when I look at the LGBT community, man, I think they are really wanting us to know what they do in their bedrooms all the time.
Yeah.
This is why they keep pushing that agenda on children. And even if you just look at the discourse in American politics, I just feel like we're always talking about gay people. Like, I just feel like it's just not. I mean, I feel like Americans, the way the media is set up is like, it doesn't matter how bad the economy, like we can have a horrible economy or we could be about to go to war with Russia, but what will anger the American public if something bad happens to a gay person. That's when we get upset. And I just feel like a lot of that is coming from media manipulation and people not understanding what's important. And that is also aiding in the dumbing down of America. Like, Americans are not really talking about policy. Like, we're just too stuck in this SJW thing on what's happening to this black person. You know, it's getting frustrating, man. But yeah, you know, this is exactly how the Democrat Party, you know, wins its base. And I tell people who are Democrats, the Democrats think you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't they ever come up to you with a policy agenda? Why are they always panning to you like you are a child? Why are they always telling women you are oppressed? You will never do as good as men. You know, they just make women feel like they're just, you know what I'm saying, you are living in the Middle East. The only reason why women voted for Donald Trump is because their husbands made them. I mean, that right there,
yeah.
I think Michelle Obama made that statement. That right there, she pretty much said, y'all are dumb. Like, and I don't see no protest for women. Like, I don't even understand how you can sit there and let her get away with a statement like that. Like, what are you saying? Like, women don't have their own mind? We just sit in the kitchen and our husbands say do this and we just do it? You know what I'm saying? I really do think there needs to be some type of pushback from women on that. Like, even with this abortion issue, man, the way the media frames it, 20 white men voted are the ones who decided for the Alabama abortion thing, right? Yeah. But do they ever take into account that women voted for those white men? And do they also take into account that there are some women out there who don't support abortion, who is against it, who's out there protesting at the abortion clinics, as we've seen when one white liberal man harassed those women? It's like,
in Alabama, the governor that's trying to bill into law is Kay Ivey, a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, bro, it's insane, bro. But the thing is, if you notice, they don't even take those women into account.
Right.
It's like liberals don't even mention those women. You know what I'm saying? They don't even exist. That's how low they think of women. Like, you don't exist. This is just all the men. You're just on the side, just making noise. This is why we're going after the men. And that's what, they try to call us misogynistic, but they are the ones who have the low opinion of women. That's why they always dismiss what they have to say, especially if it goes against their agenda. They just dismiss them as just somebody stupid who's just listening to a man. I mean, that right there is worse. Anyways, man, that's pretty much all I wanted to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, peace. All right, my man Tariq was on fire tonight, as always. Great call from my man Tariq. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. I got to keep moving, though, because a lot of calls come in and a little bit of time left. So I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. 313, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Barry from Detroit.
All right, Barry, what's going on?
Hey, man, I've been a big fan of yours, man. I remember checking you out on O'Shea Jackson's when he would have people, you know, you guys were kind of like teaming up and stuff. And, anyway, I've been listening to your callers, man. I'm a minister, by the way, you know, recently ordained, but definitely a strict God lover. And what I've been finding, man, is like as I listen to your callers call in, you know, I realize how much God is really missing from the community. You know, and once you actually get yourself committed to following scriptural law, you'll find a lot of this stuff is really spiritual matters. That's why they don't make sense on the surface. So when guys say, well, how do Muslims and feminists and LGBT end up all hating Trump and all of them on the same team? It really doesn't make sense on the surface, but when you put it in spiritual terms, you understand that all of those entities are evil. You know, feminists are nothing but witchcraft. Feminism is nothing but witchcraft. And, you know, the more the more I get into scripture and the more I read it and the more I hear men who are spiritually grounded, the more I understand how deeply affected the black community is with witchcraft. You know, and I know that, you know, you hear that word and you think about Harry Potter and all kinds of, you know, nonsense and stuff, but the Bible actually says that rebellion is witchcraft. That's what it is. It's rebellion and manipulation. And you know, if I grew up like my mom, it was just me and my brother and sister and my mom. She raised the three of us. And I can tell you, brother, my mom is totally caught up in witchcraft. Not consciously. This is the other thing I don't think a lot of people realize. You don't have to consciously think that you're a witch to be practicing. You know, it's not like, you know, you consciously decided I'm going to cast a spell or I'm going to do this or, you know, or this is my goal. It's just a practice that brings about a curse over your household. You know, and these young men, you grow up in the house. I started getting in trouble with the law at a very young age. You know, so by the time I was 12, I started getting in trouble. I'd go in the youth home and I'd be around boys and men. And the entire culture was so different. Whereas in the house with my mom, it was like total domination and just total control, just total repression. Like that last caller, I heard him talking about toxic masculinity.
Right.
You know, and this is one of the things that is about witchcraft. It's about suppressing masculinity, rebelling against the masculinity. You know, these women have had kids, the father's taken off, and deep down they're hurting. They've been rejected, and they're rebelling against masculinity ultimately. So when they see that these little boys grow up and these boys, you know, are trying to be boys, they move to suppress that masculinity. You know, these kids, these boys go into school, they can't sit still because they're masculine. I'm 57 years old. And when I was in elementary school, not only did we have gym, but we had shop, and then we had recess. And we go out and burn off that energy. That's you right. know. And whereas now they don't have any of that. You know, you just sit there and fold your hands like a little girl, you know, for 6-7 hours a day, and boys can't do it. So when they can't do it, these women don't know how to manage these boys. You know, they put them on medication.
That's right.
And half of the black boys grow up with this mother dominating them. They don't realize it. They take on these feminine values. They don't learn how to solve problems. You know, this is another thing that I learned up growing, and as I got older and I saw the pattern in other households, the woman, men really look to solve problems. That's one of the things I listen to, like when I'm listening to you talk and when I was listening to O'Shea Jackson, and it was a couple other guys, you know, but men traditionally move to solve problems. You know, our goal is to solve a problem. The woman is really looking to protect her pride, her leadership, her vanity, and you know, so she'll just yell and she'll keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over as long as her pride is protected in the process. The actual problem just gets suppressed, and it's never actually dealt with. You know, and this is, and you know, and the problem approaching it, you know, like I said, I'm a minister, and I really look to solve a problem. And sometimes I try to take people to the scripture, and you know, it's like no, witchcraft is not something I just made up, pulled out of my behind. You know, no, the Bible talks about it. Paul in Galatians, it comes out, "O people of Galatia, who have bewitched thee." And there's another one in 1 Samuel 15, and he says, rebellion is as witchcraft. 1 Samuel 14:23. Anyway, it's also several references in there to sorcery, and I used to smoke weed and drink and all of that stuff, and I look back on some of the pictures I took while I was high and stuff, man, and I look just like some, this imaginary picture I would have of a wizard, like this kind of glazed over eyes, like red, and just, my face isn't like my normal face. Anyway, and you think about what is weed and alcohol, but potions, that's what they are. They're potions, and they do have, they really affect your psyche. So anyway, all of that to say that really the black community is immersed in this, and God hates witchcraft. He hates it. It's another form of idolatry and rebellion, which is it is really rebellion against the masculinity which is godly. And 1 Corinthians 11:3, it says, man is the head of woman as Christ is the head of man, as God is the head of Christ. So the natural order, God's natural order is that the man is the leader of the woman. The man is the head of the woman. So when the woman is without the man, she's headless. For example, the woman, she in most cultures, for example, if a woman, she doesn't have a husband, before she has a husband, she's got her father there, and she's got brothers or uncles or somebody to lead in a masculine capacity. And then, but in our culture, the way we've come up since the 60s, the woman in the black culture is the head, and these women are headless. They don't really have a masculine figure that they can count on. Most of these guys, even myself, I've been guilty of this, man. I just wanted sex from the woman. I didn't care nothing about her household and her situation in general. I just wanted to have sex with her. So I pretty much go along with whatever she was putting down in her household, man, and that is the tragedy and the cycle and this trap that most of us have gotten into. And nobody's going to admit that, nobody wants to say, well, yeah, I'm practicing witch,
Exactly.
or yeah.
I'm with you on that, man. I don't mean to cut you right here, but I got to get to a few more calls or wrap up. So that was a great call, and I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Okay, hey, man, I sent you a text message to this line because I'm trying to do something with conservative YouTubers, man. Do you think you get the message?
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna check you out, and I'll probably respond back. But this is my Skype number, so it's not my actual cell phone. My email is on my website, but it's contact@anthonyblogan.com. I'll try to get back to you on this, but my email is probably the best way, and we can just talk from there.
All right, excellent. Thank you, brother.
All right, thank you. All right, shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And the lines are blowing up at the end of the show almost. We got about a half hour left. I'm going to try to get everybody on as soon as I can. Let's get to a few more calls.
Back controller ever forgive
Nipping.
let me again. What's up?
Everything's good, man. Turn your stuff from the background off for me.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm also trying. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So apparently now children's TV shows are trying to induct our children.
Yeah, no. Pretty much. You got a children's TV show that's been on for like 20 years, having a gay wedding in the very first episode of their latest season.
No. Just no. Look,
yeah, it's not a good thing.
You can support gay rights. I'm okay with that. But please do not try to indoctrinate our children.
Yeah, can't do it. Not at all.
And now Empire cancelled Jussie Smollett.
That's right.
Now he's been... So what of it?
Well, you know that he was on the show, and it was a whole big controversy when he was on the show. And they signed him for a new season, but they're not going to put him on it And now the whole show has gotten canceled after this upcoming season. So the prevailing thought is that he is the reason why the show is getting canceled.
Well, is he?
Well, I mean, I think that he is. They're not going to come out and say that he is, but it would make sense to think that because the show was doing well, but then when his situation happened, the ratings tanked, it went off a cliff, and now it's like, what can you do? He's not going to be on the show anymore, so the best thing to do would be probably go ahead and end it.
Well, his what do you call it? His reputation is going headfirst into the toilet.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what's happening.
And yeah, the Texas police shooting. Now, I don't care. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm anti-abortion. Well, I am anti-abortion. Yeah, put it that way. Now, that person wasn't illegal. She was just using the pregnancy thing as an excuse to not get shot.
Now, she wasn't illegal as an immigrant. She was just doing illegal things, trying to fight the police officer.
Yeah. And then... I forgot what I was trying to say. Yeah, Alabama. Governor Kay Ivey passes an anti-abortion law. You know what? She's 100% right. Now, I know the social justice warriors will say, oh, she was probably pressurized into it by the first gentleman, and, no. Look, you can be a woman and you can be pro-life at the same time.
That's right.
It's not either or.
That's right.
So, yeah. Look, my style... Yeah. The gay marriage thing in the children's TV show, again, look, fine, you identify as gay. I mean, you can... Now, gay people is not what I have a problem with. Transgenders is what I have a problem with. They always get confused. Like, you can identify as Barney the Purple Dinosaur, but your biology is never going to change.
That's right.
I could identify myself as Thomas the Tank Engine, a talking train, but my biology is never going to be the same. Is never going to change.
That's right. You're going to be who you are regardless of what.
Exactly. Now I don't think, although I want this to be overturned, Roe v. Wade, it's not going to happen for the next, you need at least 7, it might not happen in Trump's presidency.
It all depends. Like, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I don't know where she is. She could be sitting on death's door right now, one foot in the proverbial grave. Then you have Stephen Breyer. He may be right behind her. And
he could go the same way. He could just stay there until... Do you remember William Rehnquist?
Yeah, he was 100 years old or something?
No. He died in office.
How old was he when he died?
80.
Oh, he was 80, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It could happen.
Yeah. I don't think Steve Breyer, I don't know what his name is. He's not going to retire.
What I'm saying is that he's old too, so he may not actually make it. He may actually pass away in office. The same as Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah, that's correct. But you're claiming that he's gonna retire.
No. I'm saying he might be right behind her as far as dying in office because Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Let me just check how old Steve Breyer is.
He's 80. He's 80.
Yeah. My granny is 86. She's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, people can live. People can live for a long time, but not everybody can live for as long as everybody else.
Yeah. The thing is, you remember John Paul Stevens?
Yeah.
He's still alive, and actually he's retired.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can't just assume that just because they are turning old, they're going to retire. But I feel that Steve Breyer is just going to die in office, just like William Rehnquist did.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, and what else was there? Yeah. And over here, the Brexit thing still hasn't changed. Limbo.
You still kind of in the same holding pattern as before?
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to call Swede Speaks out. Yeah, these Muslims always claim that we're racist and stuff. Yet, yeah, and he stated that Muhammad was a gay. No, not a gay. Yeah, was a white male. And then the Quran said something about criticizing white men is something illegal.
No. Like what he was saying was that some Muslims say that Muhammad was a white man, and if you say that he was not a white man, that's haram.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So yeah, that's hypocrisy. Now that wouldn't surprise me if Muhammad was a white man, because Arabs are white.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Like I was talking to one of my Uber drivers when I was in Arizona, and the guy was from Syria, and he was like, all this racial division is kind of weird because when I come over here, what am I? And I was like, I don't know. He was like, I'm considered white, but I'm also Arab. So how does that really work? And he had a point.
You can be white and Arab, like I said. I had a student. I had a student in my college. She was Afghan. Wore a hijab and everything. Yeah, she was whiter than me.
Right. So it's just kind of weird. So
let that sink in. A Muslim from Afghanistan, whiter than me. Let that sink in.
There you go, man. So I thank you for the call, Nippin. I gotta get to a few more before we wrap up.
Yeah, I shall see you on Saturday. Yeah, Sunday my time, Saturday yours.
That's right. All righty, well, thank you for the call. As always, man, definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, and just to let you know, towards the end of I wanted to tell you something I've been trying to tell you for a long time. I had a plan, but it didn't go through, to come to the States in the summer with my family, but it never went through because my brother has a festival to attend. I myself am going on holiday in August with my friends.
Okay.
The plan was to do a cruise and then travel across the States. But instead, we're going on a cruise at the end of July in Europe. Oh, yeah, and my mum also has to go at the end of July to the States as well. So, yeah, it just collided. But hopefully we'll do the States next year.
All right. Well, hopefully you come on through, man. But thank you for the call, as always.
Yeah, while I'm on cruise, I might still be able to speak to you.
All right. Well, sounds good, man. Enjoy your cruise, and thank you for the call, as always.
I shall see you on Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
That's right.
Saturday your time, Sunday mine.
All righty. Take care, man.
Peace.
All right, righty. Good old Nippin. One more thing. Shout out to Nippin. Okay, we got more calls. I'm going to try to get everybody on. If I can't, I'm sorry. But the phone lines just all of a sudden are jumping right now. Let's go to the next one. 470, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello. Hey, Anthony. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, Anthony. I was in Nashville this weekend, Anthony. I didn't get a chance to call your show, Anthony.
Oh, what was happening in Nashville?
Me and my man, we just went out there to have us a good time, Anthony.
That's great. It's great to hear it.
We went to this restaurant called Hattie B's and had some this hot chicken. It was good, Anthony.
You said it was called Hattie B's?
Something like that, Anthony. It was up there in Nashville. You had that red hot chicken or something, Anthony. It was good.
Yeah, it is good up there. The Nashville hot, yeah, it's good. I ain't had it yet, but hey, I'm gonna go out there next time and check it out.
I hope you enjoy, but Anthony, I don't know what to say. They didn't cancel the Empire, Anthony.
Hey, you got to blame your boy Jussie, because he the one that did it.
No, he didn't, Anthony. Your man Trump did it, Anthony.
So how did Trump kill Empire? Explain that.
He sent them men to go and beat up Jussie, Anthony.
So he sent them two Nigerian dudes with the fake MAGA hats on, talking about this is MAGA country in Chicago when it's like 1,000,000 degrees below zero. He did that, or was that Jussie that did that?
Anthony, you know they got them masks now that you can put over your skin and it make you look like a whole nother race, Anthony.
But the Nigerian dudes, the Nigerian dudes even admitted to it.
No, he didn't.
And then they went to Nigeria to hang out with their family and got caught at the airport when they came back.
Well, what's wrong with that, Anthony? He probably had a holiday, Anthony.
Look, you got to tell your friends in the LGBTQIA ABCD community to tighten up and stop doing these hate crime hoaxes.
What is, man? Ain't nobody doing no hoaxes. Every time we tell the truth, y'all just need to listen. Trannies to the front of the line, gays to the front of the line. But anywho, Anthony. And what are they doing over in Alabama with some bill stopping abortion, Anthony?
Hey, I'm glad they're doing it. House Bill 314. No more abortions except for life with the mother. But outside of that, no more abortions. I'm with it 100%. What's wrong with that?
I ain't got no problem with it, Anthony, because, I don't like abortion anyway, but, y'all always trying to go against the people, Anthony, but anywho, Anthony, and then you talking bad about the author of the cartoon, Anthony.
I mean, they got a gay marriage in the very first season. This is a children's.
And what's wrong with it, Anthony?
Look, you got kids watching, little kids, little babies. That's too much for them to be taken in at that particular point in time.
No, it ain't, Anthony.
So, I mean, look, little kids shouldn't be talking about stuff like that. They should be worried about playing with their toys and coloring and just kid stuff, not adult issues like gay marriage.
Anthony, you just don't like people, Anthony. You just wrong, Anthony.
I'm just keeping it real. That's all.
It's a certain time, keeping it real go wrong, Anthony.
Nah, not over here. We good.
Whatever, Anthony. Well, Anthony, I don't want to keep you on. I know you got a few more calls you might want to take, but where's Amazing and Kevin, Anthony? You ain't calling into the show, Anthony.
Hey, they can call in whenever they want. They got an open line. That's my guys right there.
We ain't gonna have Kevin from Kevin's Corner in, Anthony.
I don't know. I might have had him on already. Who knows? I might try to get him on again.
You need to get Kevin in here, Anthony. I want to see him with that nice, shiny black bald head and that big burly beard, Anthony.
Okay, that's nice.
Anthony, I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm finna go out here to the Bulldog to help make Atlanta gay again, Anthony.
All right, well, you enjoy doing that.
I want to let you know, we ordered some of them hats like what you had on with that big old MAGA on there, Anthony.
Oh, you got some of them? Good money.
Me and all my friends, we got us some. We're going to have us some Making Atlanta Gay Again party, Anthony.
Make America great again. That's what it stands for.
No, it's Making Atlanta Gay Again, Anthony.
Hey, look, whatever. As long as y'all supporting the movement, it's all that matters. You still got on the MAGA hat, so that's all that it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, you tell Lucas.
Okay, all right. Look, see, you getting out of control. We got kids watching. Come on, tighten up now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I just get to thinking about it. Something just come over me.
All right.
I just don't know what to do. Ooh.
Okay, what you gonna do is what you gonna do is go ahead and hang up. So thank you for the call.
Okay, Anthony. I'll see you next week, Anthony. I ain't gonna call you Saturday because I don't want to mess up your show. Okay, Anthony.
All right, now take care.
Bye, Anthony.
See, I see what I got to do with over here. I'm just trying to run a show, and then you get people calling up here, talking about all kind of wild stuff. So yeah, shout out to that particular caller. I know who that is. Like they're disguising their voice. To anybody that's new, they're disguising their voice. I know what that is, but I can't really put my finger on it. I'm thinking it's like one of 2 or 3 people, but who knows? Okay, let me get to my next call. 301, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, what's up? What's up, ABL?
What's going on?
JB.
What's going on, JB?
Another day, another dollar. Another day, another dollar. Man, I'm just watching the Bucks game. Oh my God, the Bucks looking real good.
Hey man, that's my team right there. We're gonna go all the way. We going to the championship game and we're gonna win.
That's what I'm saying too. Everybody got man. Who you like the Bucks? I like this Ray Allen, Sam Cassell days.
Hey, same here. I was a big fan. Glenn Robinson, the whole squad. Yep.
Yes. And everybody said, "Well, you used a hot." I said, "No, I'm not a hot one. I still got a Ray Allen jersey. I still got a Sam Cassell jersey. He played for him a little bit." So, I'm not new. Anyways, but the Arthur thing made me mad. I mean, come on. And you know what? Actually, the sad thing about it is that they're trying to indoctrinate our kids to accept that lifestyle, and that's all it's coming down to. Would you not agree?
Oh, definitely, 100%. Because there's no other reason to do this. And matter of fact, they even had so-called prominent gay figure as a voice actor in the show. That the lady Jane Lynch, that the tall woman from that show called Glee. So
exactly my point.
Yeah.
I'm tired of pushing this narrative on our kids, pushing on us. You can't say anything. Everything's offensive now. And I'm trying to tell everybody, I said, look, what's going to happen is a revolt's going to happen. It's going to start with Joe Rogan and comedians. Would you not agree?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because the key is when people stop being PC, they lose their power. When you stop caring, you just got to stop caring. Because the thing about it, like the whole Me Too thing, it went down. Me Too moment. What's Me Too movement going? It's gone. It's died down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to lose steam. I don't hear about it too much more. You know, it ain't
exactly.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, but see, the thing what they don't promote is 2 family households. I look at Arthur and his father and his mother still together with 2 kids. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
That's right.
Read to your kids. Those type of things I want to see my kids looking at. Those kind of things I want to see my grandson looking at. You know what I'm saying? A parent going out working hard, a man working hard more than his wife is. We look down upon a woman who lets her husband kind of be in a leader role but not dictate. She has to keep people understand. People think submissiveness is a dictator thing. No, it's not. It keeps structure in the household because women are more comfortable being up under a man than a man being up under a woman. Wouldn't you not agree?
Yeah, 100%. It's a natural way that people operate. It's not a matter of trying to dominate or any kind of thing like that. It's just a matter of just natural progression of human beings.
Exactly. And then that last call getting arguing with you, I was like, man, this dude, just hang up on him. Like I hate people don't have a point to what they're arguing about. That just annoys me. I wish I could headbutt that dude. If I could headbutt somebody for you, ABL, I would do it for you, brother. I just care about you that much. Because you deal with some of the dumbest people in the world who argue with the stupidest narrative, but you gotta listen to it.
all the time. All the time I deal with it. It is what it is.
I just burst down and what's the name? Me and the old guy was talking about Trump. And I said to him, look, point of the matter is, I say, you work for Homeland Security. You make over $150,000 a year. Why do you hate this man? He lowered your tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? He says, how much you make? I said, I make about 80 and 90. But guess what? I got to work double harder than you have to make that 80. And I don't care making that much money. You know what I'm saying, though? And I was trying to explain to myself, I said, the narrative is, I'm going to do what else people don't do to have the things the others won't have the next day. And that's everybody said, why do you say that to people? I said, because that's how you got to live your life. You got to do shit that because nobody else wants to do to have things that others won't have later on. Am I right, ABL?
100%.
And America is built upon hard work. You are going to fail. You're going to go into debt. You're going to go into debt at least one time your whole life. But the key is, how do you handle that diversity of debt? That's the character that you have to have. You got to be able to say, look, hey, If I got to file bankruptcy, 7 years bad luck. Oh, well, I'll be all right. As long as my wife got good credit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I told them in marriage, I said, someone should take most of the debt on, particularly the man. He said, why do you say that? I said, because if things go south, if I got to file bankruptcy, my wife's going to be good. I may be hurt a little bit for a little while, but guess what? I have a Class A. I got a clearance. I'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? That's what I tell myself. That's how you got to live your life. You've got to realize you're going to have debt in your life. It's all how you handle it. It's all how you handle those situations where things go wrong. Like I tell myself, I said, you ain't got to like Trump, but look at what he's doing. I said, them turf things is a good thing because it's teaching China you don't own nobody. We don't. I'll pay a higher cost than give you the satisfaction of being have some top of our head. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And I was trying to think, but I said I like Ben Shapiro. I don't like him, and I like him, and I don't like him because he always says them turf things that Donald Trump's doing is wrong. And I'm like, how's it wrong? China has been getting over us for years. And guess what they do is they wet the pox of Hillary Clinton. They wet the pox of George W. Bush. You can't tell me Barack Obama ain't taking advantage of this. I know he did.
Oh,
don't you think so?
100%.
And that's the thing that killed me the most. Would you not agree, ABL, that everybody says turfs are bad, and then everybody trying to find something wrong? I said, no, the turfs are actually a good thing. Because guess what? It's moving freight. I haul freight. It's helping me out. I mean, fuel might go up a little bit, but who cares? It's summertime. It always goes up in the summertime. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, that's pretty much how it goes. People don't really want to talk about that. They just want to find a fault with Trump. That's all that it is. It's really not even about the terrorists or anything else. It's about trying to find a fault with Trump, kind of a chink in the armor. But I'm going to cut you right here, boss, but I got to get to a couple more calls before I wrap up.
Okay. Have a nice one. And one more thing. And hope the next caller asks about this whole sex strike that's going on. Tell the next caller to ask that and hit me in the chat room. All right.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, JB. KB, have a nice one.
All right, now.
Peace.
All right, thank you to JB for the call. I'm a little over my time here, so I'm going to get to a couple more calls. Then I wrap it on up. We already at 11 o'clock. You already been 3 hours. Time's just been flying when you're having fun, but let me get to my next call. 770, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 770. Yes, who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony.
No. They already called. You can't do that.
Anthony.
Sir?
Oh, yes. I'm not a sir.
Sir, come on. The person already called.
No, I just want to tell you I love your show, man. I got Trump 2020, brother. I was just messing with you. I'm watching you right now. Peace.
All right, peace.
Godspeed. Love you. Bye.
All right, thank you, man.
Yeah, bye.
See, callers. See what the other person done. Y'all are crazy. That was not her again. That was somebody just playing. All right. Look, y'all. I got a little bit of time left, so I can take one more call, and then I got to bounce. So let's let it be a good one. All right. Let's get to. Hold on 1 second. 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, hi. My name's Dan.
All righty, what's going on? 631, are you there? Okay. Look, I don't got. See, look. All right, let's do this. Let's just get to the next call. All right, caller, who's on the line?
Hello, Anthony. This is your favorite ESPN announcer, Alex Rodriguez. Also, by the way, I used to play for a little outfit called the New York Yankees. So if anybody's talking about a sex strike, you got the perfect strike breaker right here.
All right, A-Rod, what's going on? What's happening?
All right, I actually didn't want to call you. I don't even know what this YouTube thing is. But a week ago, I was trying to park my car at the restaurant, and the valet came up to me and was demanding to hand me this piece of paper and have me call you. And I was like, can you just take my car? And she said, no, I'm Sue Bird, WNBA champion. So I said, okay. And then I did make her park my car. So I I guess she wanted me to talk to you about this whole racism in baseball thing. And it is very, very shameful that we have fans who are going to the ballpark and using their seats to promote this hateful ideology. So I want to say on behalf, let me see this. This paper is crumpled, but here. She said, just because you want to watch us hit some dingers doesn't mean you can be a right winger. Okay? And then if you have 2 strikes, don't do the work of the Third Reich.
Wow.
And I guess and when you're trying to stretch a single and get to second base, don't forget the crimes of the white race. So there you go, Sue. I guess get back to dribbling and whatever it is you basketball players do.
Okay, that was interesting.
So I guess before I leave, I did have a question for you about these these gay cartoon characters. I think it's been much more common than people might think. In fact, let me see here. I want you to take a look. Do you think some of these people were like gay back in the day? Because just last week I was watching this show, and I was always wondering why wasn't there like a Mr. Rita Repulsa?
You know what? I never thought about that, but I think Rita Repulsa was like some kind of, I don't know. Matter of fact, nah, she had, remember Goldar. I thought that was her husband.
No, he was her beard or whatever you call it. And then there was never any Auntie Scrooge.
Yeah, that's true.
And then, of course, I mean, how can people be this happy? Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even roiding. And you have. I mean, this is just plain obvious.
Yeah, that was clear. That was obvious on right there, but it was never said. They were just like quote unquote best buds.
So, anyways, I want to point a finger at your Mr. Racist President, Mr. Trump, giving the Medal of Honor to Tiger Woods. Look, turnabout's fair play. I am on ESPN, okay? Tiger Woods is not on ESPN. He cheated on his wife. I cheated on a lot of drug tests. Where's my Medal of Honor? ABL, okay? He got divorced from Elin Nordgren. Believe me, I'm working on my new divorce from J-Lo once I get married. So I want my Medal of Honor, Mr. President.
Well, hey, good
you
luck.
You gonna help me, ABL?
Hey, good luck getting that one. I mean, you might get it, but I don't know. The whole A-Roy kerfuffle might kind of get in the way.
I got shoved by Jason Veritek. I don't deserve something?
Hey, man, you asking the wrong person. I don't handle that department.
I should get a Medal of Honor just for working for George Steinbrenner. He fired the same guy 5 times.
Well, maybe so. All
right, good night, ABL. I'll tell that valet to call you herself next time.
All right, hey, sounds good to me. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good night.
All right, now. All right, shout out to A-Rod for calling in, but I got to bounce. Y'all been good. Thank y'all for the calls, but I got to go. We're past the time limit, and I got to be kind of strict about the time. So thank y'all. If you were not able to get in, I'm sorry. Try to call in again on my next live show, which would be this coming up Saturday. What's that? May 18th? Yeah, May 18th. Same time, 8 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. Eastern time. Live call-in show. For the first half hour, I do like a little soliloquy type of thing, and then I take calls and interact with you guys. So that'll pretty much be it. Thank y'all for joining. Shout out to all the moderators. For some reason, I can't see who the moderators are. It's kind of weird the way that YouTube has it now. But you guys know who you are. You guys do a great job all the time. You got Omar Adams, T-Pain, of course, Bill from the Hills, Liza Jean, Protocol, Friends, Shreebs, the whole squad. Thank y'all for what y'all do at the time. Definitely appreciate you. And what else we got? We got new content coming out tomorrow. Look out for more ABL gaming content coming out. I'll be doing, what I'm going to try to do is do at least one video a day coming up soon about latest gaming news, gaming topics. It will not be a live gaming channel. I don't have time for that, but I'll just be doing gaming news. My opinion about a recent game that's come out, also movie reviews, I'm going to try to just dedicate some time to that. I've not updated that channel because I don't have the time. But I'm trying to get my schedule and my routine pristine to where I have time just for at least one video on the gaming channel. So subscribe to that channel if you've not done so already. A link for that should be in the box. If it's not, it'll be on the front page of my YouTube page. But that's all I got. If you guys want to continue the conversation, please do so over on Discord. And the link for that is in the description box. Discord is a free chat service, also voice. So you guys can hang out in the Discord. I'll pop up occasionally. And if you want to contact me, please do so via email, contact@anthonyblogan.com. My website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, don't get triggered by this, LOGAN.com. And that is all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.